Last we left off, our group had just left the confines of the forest, of which their ranger, Lysera, had then learned its name and led to an upsetting situation between Natalie and the rest of the party. After an awkward conversation and a silent trudge back to the main portion of the city, heading back to enjoy a bit of time off and quite soon after getting very, very drunk, they managed to more or less divert the tensions for the time being. Shortly after, in the morning, waking up with varying levels of headache, tomfoolery then ensued, and they started to get ready to do a few more things before possibly attempting to head out. Though not before deciding on what the next course of action may be best to do and who to catch up on the happenings that ensued during their supposedly extended leave. With an attempt by most of the party to warn the king of a possible shadow dragon roaming around and subsequently not being entirely believed, the group decided to head back to the Sleeping Pixies Inn to figure out what to do next after some job listings from the Voltiac's Light were brought back by Naminue. And then something odd had happened, something that felt real, yet there are no indicators that it was anything more than an illusion. Dazed, a bit confused, and feeling as if you had just woken up from a long rest, some of you sit with a feeling of an ache in the shoulder or in the knee, or perhaps in your chest, an awareness of what had happened, and yet you can't seem to quite prove that it had taken place at all. The five of you rouse in your rooms, the mid-morning atmosphere calm and quiet, allowing for reflection or perhaps deflection of what was a very odd and very real-seeming dream.
Bum, bum, bum.
Natalie checks her notebook.
You open up your book that you take notes in for various reasons and turn to pages where you expect words, expect notes on what you had taken in that space. And what you see is just ink. It's indecipherable. There are a few letters and a few notions of text, but you can't seem to quite read it, or at the very least, it's too smudged to make out. As if it had just run through all of the page and ruined everything that you had written down while you were there. And right next to
Well,
your notebook is a tipped-over inkwell, empty. You're not sure if that's the cause of it, or if there's something weird happening to your notebook.
With that, Natalie will get ready for the morning and head down to the room to meet up with the others as usual.
When I wake up, I check my shoulder.
There's no wound in your shoulder. There's no scar or anything that you would expect from the ache that lingers there from where you believe you got shot. But there's nothing.
Does it look like a bruise?
No. It's just an ache lingering, as if you believed a little too hard or a little too long that you got injured, and so your body made it real. But there's nothing there. Not bruising, not a scar, nothing. Just an ache.
Well, I'll get dressed and I'll walk on down while slightly annoyingly rubbing my shoulder.
Natalie, you see Naminue walk downstairs rubbing at her shoulder with an expression that is half annoyed and half confused.
Are you all right?
My shoulder just hurting. Probably nothing to worry about.
You see, Natalie is in the middle of seeming to cast something, for the sake of saying it. Ritual casting Identify on the page of the notebook while downstairs, waiting for everyone
I
to hear.
don't say a word, I just sit and wait for anyone else.
Okay, your ritual casting Identify on books?
On the page of the book, yes.
Okay. As you're... Sorry. As you're finishing the ritual spell, a part of you is nervous, apprehensive of what you might find, but all you find is exactly what is always there. Of course, this book is magic because it is connected to someone else's. This is where you take notes for them. These in particular, however, they're odd. The pages themselves don't seem to belong to this book. They're old or weathered, as if they've seen water damage and they've been carefully dried. But otherwise, they don't seem any more magical or non-magical than any other part of the notebook.
Hmm. Hmm. At the moment, she's just observing the book, waiting for Lethera to come down because she had some insight on a similar thing earlier.
It's around this point that Natalie and Eminue, you both receive the usual fare of getting what you've gotten a couple times by now as your breakfast by the owner, Dom. And he seems to notice that something's a bit off, but judging by what he's gotten used to from the lot of you, he doesn't seem to really care that much to ask. In return to what
Natalie apprehends about eating at first.
Questioning your entire reality now, huh?
Yep.
And Eminue will probably just be pushing stuff back and forth with her fork or spoon.
Is Rayanne just... I don't remember where Rayanne was. I don't think I was here for the last session, so...
Rayanne, well, the last session for the main story you were here. Last one you had to duck out early. But you're in your room currently with an ache in your knee from where, as far as you remember, Cole shot you.
Ah. See, I fixed a dream. Okay. That's fun.
So what is she doing? How's she reacting?
Wait, is she upstairs in her room, or is she...
She's in her
Yes,
room.
you're upstairs in your room.
So she comes downstairs. And death stares Cole.
Cole's not there yet.
Cole's not down there.
Oh.
Cole and Lucera are still in their rooms.
She goes to Cole's room and waits outside.
Okay. So, the fun part about this, Natalie and Eminue, you hear another door upstairs open, close, and then familiar footsteps trail a bit further away and stop.
I look to Natalie. I look back upstairs. I look back to Natalie, and I go, should we?
Maybe? Is she lost in the hallway, or... Natalie calls Russet, her familiar.
Okay.
Gives him a little pet and says, "Could you go help her? Think she Might be long.
Russet huddles up against your jaw for a moment, squeaks, and then scurries down onto the ground and up towards the stairs to go help out Rayanne. Rayanne, you do see out of the corner of your eye as Russet makes his way up the stairs and over to you, squeaking at you.
Russet, my baby. Rayanne gently, like, not gently. Wait, okay. She looks down at Russet. And I forgot what I was gonna.
He's looking back up to you.
She greets Russet friendly. Friendly does not matter. I'm sorry, I'm a mess.
None of us can talk. It's okay. What does Russet do in response to the friendly greeting from a rather disgruntled-looking Rayanne?
So Russet will squeak back, just sort of staying on his hind legs, and then go around the circle a bit before stepping off in the direction of the stairs and turning back around.
Rayanne is very torn between knocking on Cole's door and not really wanting to wake anyone up, and Russ is staying to go downstairs, so she's kind of, she doesn't have a lot of patience, so she's just heading downstairs. She'll see Cole when he comes down.
Oh, cleric with no patience. Oh, mood.
Yeah.
Healer mood. Living the dream.
Lucera is gonna walk out. Lucera's gonna walk out of her door just in time to see the rather, short end of a fuse cleric head down the stairs, and she's gonna stare after that, and then look around at the other doors like, what the fuck did I miss?
Question. Since Rayanne kind of feels a phantom pain in her leg, would she be limping?
No, she wouldn't be limping so much as it's kind of like when you accidentally move your leg or foot wrong and it just kind of like, fuck. Kind of thing.
Ouch.
Yeah, it doesn't really hinder you aside from like the first step, but otherwise, no. So, Rayanne, you see the door to Lucera's room open, and there's a very confused ranger staring at you, as if wondering what had happened.
She extends a friendly greeting to her, too. Her thoughts still on Cole.
We'll get to Cole in a moment.
She's honestly more frustrated. She's honestly more grumpy from waking up than, like, actually mad at Cole here, but...
Not a morning person, huh? So, Lucera, you also get a friendly greeting, for the most part, from a not quite morning person cleric.
She looks still a little bit confused, but gives a friendly nod back of like, okay, I really don't know what just went on, but okay. Did everybody get up on the wrong side of the bed?
So do you head downstairs, Rayanne, after being more or less silently nudged by Russet to follow?
Yeah, Russet's hard to say no to. It's all good.
If Ryan's going towards the stairs, then Russet just sort of climbs onto her shoulder, letting her lead the way.
Yay!
You have a favorite friend.
I love your friends.
So, Rayanne, you head downstairs and see Naminue and Natalie at the usual table now. Naminue pushing around her food on her plate. And an oddly...
While rubbing my...
Natalie...
While rubbing her shoulder.
When she sees Rayanne walk down the stairs, she gives a little sigh of relief.
Wait, sorry, what did you say? It cut off.
When Natalie sees Ryan walking down the stairs, she gives a sigh of relief.
Cool. Rand also sends a friendly hello because, gotta be polite, and then sits down, sort of roughly.
Just a heavy creak of the wood beneath her, just because of the sudden force of sitting where she is.
Yes. Just dragonborn on chair.
Lucera, this entire time you have not seen Cole's door open or give any sort of indication that Cole was there or knew anything was happening. As far as you know, Cole is either still asleep or acting the same way that everyone else is. There's a muted ranger. I suppose I deserve that.
Aggressive typing.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, there's aggressive typing happening from Mars right now.
I just we're all good.
Lucera walks downstairs, ready to start the day. She looks like she has something planned. As from the breakfast table, she snatches a couple of things before looking like she's going to head out the door.
I speak up and say, "Hey, Lucera, what you got planned for us today?"
Seeing if I can find someone that can fix something we may need.
Well, like what kind of stuff?
Let's call them something blessed, something broken.
Something magical? If it's something magical, your best bet would be to go find out some magic use.
Oh, I know. But I have no intention of going anywhere near the Arkham.
Well, be safe, but it'd be better if we all went.
Questions for you. One, did you still want the other one? Did you still want the cheese puffs out? Okay, I'll put them away then.
I didn't. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, the last one. You left them on the counter.
Oh, I'm
Edie, you alive?
I was waiting for that to cool down, actually.
Okay.
Same with the stove. Sorry.
As Ryan has cheese puffs for breakfast.
I think Nini is having kitten issues. For those listening, one of our players just decided to get a kitten and is having quite the amusing experience.
I love kittens so much. I want a kitten.
Well, if you wait until Cole comes down, we could all come help you find who you need to fix that.
And I could ask Jocelyn if she could help if you need.
What are the garbled sounds coming from? Cole's. Never mind.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Oh, maybe it's just
Josh's
me.
audio is just like that.
Cool. It's just hard to hear everyone else because like there was like a.
And by that I mean I know exactly what you're talking about. It's me eating.
Cool. Got it. Sorry.
Nini, are you there, friend? He's on mute.
Yes.
You were asked questions.
Oh, pardon? What was the question?
Go ahead and repeat
Well,
those.
if you wouldn't mind waiting for Cole to come down, we can all go with you together. You know, more eyes, quicker to find.
And Jocelyn, if you need help from the Arcanum, and don't to, ask yourself.
I think sticking together would be a good idea. I'm willing to come.
Lithera for a moment looks almost pained before turning away from everyone talking. I doubt that's a good idea.
Want to give us a reason?
Let's just say currently I work much better on my own.
Guess we want to be like that. Personally, I think most people don't work better alone, but
If at any point you do want our help, don't be afraid to ask.
We'll see. For now, I doubt it. And she heads towards the door.
Cole.
Yes?
Oh, I put what Naminue's action was in the.
I see it. Cole. You've been awake for a while now. You knew Ryan was outside of your door. You heard Lithera's door open across the hall. You heard everyone else wake up and go downstairs. You haven't moved from bed. You're too busy staring up at the ceiling, trying to process everything in your head, wondering if it's a dream or if there's something else there. Because it feels too real to you, and you've been in situations like this before. Situations that are a little bit too close to home. But you're not really a casting type. You can't tell the difference between an illusion unless it's pointed out. And even then, you'd rather be far away from the illusion to begin with. So you lie here, wondering if you should get out of bed, and wondering if you're going to see their faces angry at you, or if they also believe it not to be real. You're not sure you want to take that risk, so you don't move. Not yet.
How long has it been at this point?
This is since Ryan left the area around his door. I'd say it's been about 15 minutes, but he's been up since before Natalie. What is Cole doing?
He's just lying in bed looking up at the ceiling, sort of fiddling with one of his spare bullets. Perhaps even one of the ones he thinks he could have used. He's just trying to process everything right now. He knows he can't stay in bed forever. they'll probably want to be doing something today. So eventually he does rise up out of his bed, just sighing to himself, trying to mentally prepare himself for whatever could be facing downstairs. And then he goes to go downstairs.
Around the same time that Lysera walks out of the door, Cole walks downstairs, looking, for lack of a better term, distant, blank even. He's trying to either keep something hidden or he's still waking up.
Well, the Minuet would have heard his feet come down, but she wouldn't have been willing to quite look up at him yet, and just still was looking down at her food after the rejection from Lysera.
Rayanne looks at him with like a sharp glare ready, but her gaze kind of softens when she sees, I don't know, something looks kind of off about him. Excuse the cat. Oh my god.
Dad.
Natalie looks down at the notebook and considers closing it when Cole comes down, but doesn't quite do so.
Oh.
Cole, you see the other three and the door for a moment swing as if someone had left. And all of them look much less lively than they did presumably the day prior.
Cole, well, internally Cole's like, well, at least they're not pissed. And then he just goes to silently take a seat before breaking his own silence, like, so what's the plan for today?
That there is
I don't
being
know.
a social person currently, so I guess on her own.
I don't know. Perhaps we should, get preparations done for whatever we decide to do next.
Mm. There is something I'd like to figure out before we make other plans. As Natalie pushes the journal to the middle of the table, showing everyone the sheet inked out.
Fucking Nene. Sorry,
No.
Mimi's making me laugh.
Good.
Okay. Natalie pushes out the journal that she usually keeps close to her person out a little further so all of you can see the pages that, just like with her, seem smudged and water damaged almost. But much older than the rest of the journal. Unreadable, all the text, as if it was just spilled ink with only a few letters like H or Z or L just scattered in haphazard amounts, incapable of being read.
Now, we'll say last night is when I wrote these. we could think that it happened in a dream, but here it is now. And Ryan, is is your leg okay?
It hurts, but it's not too bad. Anyway,
Just a little twinge in my shoulder. But, I could have slept on it wrong. And my eyes are just kind of shifty, trying to look anywhere but at.
it
And
could have been some kind of an illusion. I mean, with the house and everything, nothing really was what it seemed. I felt real, but
so you did have the same dream then?
seems like it.
I don't know what all the dream you all are talking about.
Cole is just noticeably silent during all this talking.
Rayanne looks towards Cole and looks like she's gonna say something, then abandons it and looks back down.
So
Cole has been silent this entire time.
Yep.
Yep. Sure has.
well,
So, Cole, are you feeling okay? You kinda haven't been.
I'm fine.
Hmm.
if hmm, knows what she really wants to say something, but really doesn't know if she should.
Do it. What's the worst that could happen?
Do you want me to answer that? Do you want me to answer that one?
You want Natalie to say things now? Okay.
What's the worst that could happen?
If you're worried about what happened in the dream, Cole, at least it just sort of looks to Ryan and Naminue. But at least it's all right now. Um, we're all here. We're all fine. So
No use arguing over dreams. Just don't shoot us again, and we're all okay.
When the Minue hears her say, "Don't shoot us again," the Minue kind of just a little flinches real quick.
You also see Cole visibly wince from that and just stand up.
All right.
Natalie did a yeah.
And all Cole is gonna say is, "I'm heading out."
Well, Cole, I shall go with you. I don't think any of us should be left alone, right?
I'll be fine.
For all of you, except for Cole, you distinctly remember seeing something that you perceived as death in that house when you were taken. But as a dream, you're not sure if it was real or if you were just terrified in that moment and saw what you believed was death.
Cole, we're okay. There are bigger things to focus on, I think. And
I know you're okay. I need time to think.
okay.
And Cole just walks out. not really knowing his destination, but somewhere secluded probably.
As
Naminue will probably follow along at like a distance, just like not really intentionally trying to follow him, but not feeling, comfortable enough to actually intrude upon. If that makes.
Meanwhile, Natalie will stop, sort of letting Russet take a little bit of her food and sort of nod over to the door where Cole was going, or gesture there with her head.
Should we give him space or definitely not give him space? I feel like there's I
I want to make sure he's. I want to make sure he's okay wherever he's going.
we should make sure the asshole's safe. Rain seems kind of conflicted. She doesn't really seem mad at him anymore.
Yeah. So was Russet being told to follow suit? Nessie? Is Russet being told to follow suit?
Yes.
All right. After a few bites of the food that you offer to Russet, he squeaks at you and then hops off of the table and out to follow Cole. Leaving Naminue left as well to try and keep a distance, right?
Oh yeah. More keeping an eye.
I guess I'll let Russet be sitting on.
No, Russet's not hiding with you, just in case you get caught.
I didn't say I was hiding. I just said I was trailing along behind at a little bit.
I'll say this in advance. Don't worry about being caught. Cole's not being incredibly perceptive about that.
Fair, but Russet is trying not to get caught.
Right, so Natalie, Rayanne, you're left alone in the establishment.
Well, Natalie's still there. She hasn't gone anywhere.
Yeah, Natalie and Rayanne, you're alone in the establishment.
Got cut off from Natalie Ann. Sorry.
Naminue, Lacera, and Cole have all left for the morning.
So, what happened when I went with the host of the event?
I caught like 2 words of that, sorry.
What happened when I left you all? In the dream, I mean.
Could I get some help? I'm not very good at summing things up. Like, could someone just say what happened? I'm gonna mess this.
From what Rayanne can remember, as soon as you had left with Hassan, the host that was trying to be considerate towards you, there was a problem with the doorway that you were trying to go into and had led to an entirely different place, to a balcony, where something had gone wrong, and as far as Raya knows, she got dragged back into the darkness and then woke up.
Cool, thanks, Bray. Yeah, so a house kidnapped me. Or a spider. I don't know. There's a lot of kidnapping.
And you were you were still with Niminue and Cole at the time, yes?
Yes.
Hmm. I suppose one of them knows what happens next then.
Yeah, I suppose. We should learn the full story. Cole issue aside, I mean, do we know anyone who could have cast something on us, or?
Well, that's a bit complicated.
True.
Technically, if we're talking about could-haves, it could have been anyone at any time.
Mm. Well, I think we can exclude Niminue and Cole and both of us.
Yes,
Sarah wasn't there, though.
it wasn't Lithera, no. I
Okay.
don't think we would have that type of magic, especially not in the capacity that it would take.
True, but I don't know. There's just a lot we don't know about Lithera. Either way, we shouldn't be casting the blame on each other. I mean, I don't know.
Would have been someone outside.
Yeah.
Hmm. We could look to the journal again. I was planning on asking Jocelyn about this whole thing. Would you care to join me?
Sure. I'd love to.
Oh, all right. As Natalie will start heading off for, I suppose, the Arcanum first, just in case she's there. If not, for Jocelyn's house, home.
So, I suppose we should start with the first person who left.
Yes.
So, Lucera,
Yes.
you've wandered around this kingdom for long enough to get the gist of most of the people you're looking for in this domain are either within the, let's say, snooty portions of the kingdom or in the marketplace. And being the type of person that you are, you immediately get the sense that maybe the marketplace is a better place to check, but you haven't been here quite as much as possibly you've wanted to, thanks to everything going on. So I need you to roll an investigation check.
Oh goodness, I actually have to have this out now. I guess. Okay. 15.
It takes you a little while to ask a few people and make your way around the promenade. But after a while, you go down a couple of side streets and end up at a rather humble-looking shop. The sign is too worn to make out any particular details aside from a name. It simply says Ashley as far as you can read. And as you walk inside, it looks a bit run down, as if it hasn't been quite upkept as well as it should have for a lot of the odd-looking containers and bubbling liquids and kits that should probably be in their own containers and away from prying eyes or people who could cause trouble. But they aren't, and that's probably dangerous for the most part. But at the far back of this small shop is a young human woman with dirty blonde hair and bright green eyes, who is currently buried in her book. It is thick and leather bound and has seen better days. She seems to have not noticed you entering the establishment.
Lithera takes a moment to look around and lets her eyes wander a bit before landing on the person in the back, and then finally lifts a hand to wrap her knuckles on the door frame, like she's knocking.
With the first knock, there's no reaction, but at the third and a slight pause, like someone trying to recognize that there's actually a noise that's from a person instead of just around them, as it is quite the busy site, even though it's mid-morning, not usually the type of time frame where a lot of people would be busying about. She looks up with half surprise and half acknowledgement and closes her book with a quiet shuffle of parchment and sets it aside, standing up and smiling. Hi, can I help you with something?
Perhaps. Would you be able to repair magical items?
I can. It depends on the item. Usually trinkets and baubles.
Lithera takes out the moonstone pendant. The moonstone cracked down the center. Would you be able to do anything with this?
Moonstone, huh?
Yes.
She holds out her hand for you to hand it over.
She hands it over.
The lady behind this counter reaches down with her other hand underneath the counter and takes out a rather hysterical looking set of lenses and puts them on to examine the moonstone a little closer. It looks like a jeweler's eyepiece, but with several more lenses attached to it that look hysterical and maybe a bit too big for her, as if they were handed down from someone else. And then she takes them off and sets them aside and smiles. Yes, I think I can fix this. It's not too difficult for this to be sealed up properly and maintained. You seem to be someone that takes care of old trinkets.
It's only fallen into my possession just recently, but I'm glad to hear that. In other news, our DM gets busy. Yep. Like me and Kitten.
She nods slowly. You bought this from Kyoko, didn't you?
Just perhaps.
She chuckles as if this is nothing new to her, as if people coming to her after going to that shop is relatively usual. So you can't really seem to gather why, as everything else that you've gotten from Kyoko is in perfectly fine condition. Well, I guess I could do this for not too much. This isn't that difficult of a fix, unlike the other things that I get seen brought in here. Seaside has actually seen quite the horror show of arrangements of broken items that need repair.
Sounds like quite a bit of trouble. What can
More
I do
than
for
I'd
you?
like. Don't worry about it. It's just 15 silver. It's not that much. Pretty easy fix.
15 silver. I think you sell yourself short.
She gestures to the rest of the establishment and says, most of the stuff here is 150 gold and up. This is mostly because Kyoko is a struggle to deal with. That and I'm a fellow worshipper. So.
Lucera bows her head ever so slightly. Then what perhaps do you think I should buy? Let me help out at least how I can.
I wouldn't worry too much about that. I've already put up a posting or two at Voltiax for things that I need. You're welcome to check out there if you'd really like to help and also earn a few things in return.
I certainly will.
As for this, 15 silver is just fine.
$15 silver it is.
Just come back in about 4 or 5 hours and it should be just brand new.
Lucera smiles, nods. I shall do just that, and thank you again.
Very much welcome. See you again.
You can count on it. And she leaves.
Anywhere specific that she's headed?
Let's see. The name drop of Voltiax was good, so I think I'm going to stop there.
Very well.
Voltiax.
Yep.
Niminiue knows what that is.
Just a little bit.
Who knew going drinking with well
While that's happening and Lucera is going to go find the guild, let's catch up with Cole and Niminiue. So, Niminiue, you're not being stealthy, you're walking in the open and following from a distance, yeah?
yeah, I'm not being stealthy. Just being looking like I'm kinda
You're just walking the same path as most other people are? Making sure to keep Cole and gaze? I need to understand the situation a little bit before I can narrate. So you're keeping a distance, but you're not being stealthy. Lady,
Lady, are you
I said
okay.
can you
You're cutting out a little bit.
Fine on my end.
Again, with my headphones. I warned you guys about this before I started recording. Regardless,
You did.
so it's not on me this time. It is, but you know. Niminiue compared to the rest of the times that Cole has gone out and about, he's just walking directly up to and past the gates as they open for a variety of people and just keeps walking as if he's going to leave the castle walls.
I just keep.
Cole's not trying to actively see anything around him, is he?
I think you cut out there.
Phenomenal. Cole's not trying to actively perceive anything or notice if anyone's following, yes?
Yeah.
Okay. Even so, your passive perception is something else. Highest passive perception. But you're not really trying to pay any mind to anybody around you because this is a busy kingdom and it's the middle of the morning. People are either starting to go to work or have an early lunch break so they can get back to their work and get through the day. But you neither do you really notice Naminue. You have a goal in mind. As you keep walking, it just sinks further and further that you're not really paying any mind to whoever might be following you or whoever might just be glancing your way because you're a little bit of an odd man out. So after about 15 to 20 minutes, Naminue, you follow as Cole walks out of the gates that you have traversed more than a couple of times by now and starts heading down towards the farming town that's outside of the city walls. And not stopping, looking as if he's going someplace in particular. This,
At this point, I just keep an eye out, seeing as how he's not really paying attention. I keep an eye out to make sure no trouble finds him along. So basically what I'm being eyes for him since he's not actively paying attention.
how does Russet have high stealth? Anyway, nothing. Sorry.
Weak souls. They're sneaky.
Sneaky little fucker. Sneak. Little ninja. Anyhow.
Sneak.
What was that last bit? I didn't catch the last bit anyway because I was trying to read 4 different.
I said basically, he's noticing that Cole isn't paying attention to anyone around him. I am going to start paying attention to make sure no one tries to follow him to start trouble.
Other than you?
Basically.
Roll perception.
No one starts trouble with me.
I'm the troublemaker here.
You guys get me sick over Discord.
The infection
You are
spread.
so easily made sick.
I get a 7.
As far as you can tell, nobody is seeming to follow. They're going the same direction or they're going in the opposite direction. A normal day. You're the only one actively following him.
Okay.
Oh my geez. If you guys randomly start to hear like dial-up sounds in the recording, it's because my headphones. Dial-up noises are hell. Yeah, see?
Not a single perpendicular sidestepper? How suspicious.
God damn it.
I don't get it.
You guys are so much. But Cole keeps walking for a good hour or so to get to the town, and then ignoring anybody else that tries to greet him, just heads in the direction of the governor's house, opposite Eslavana.
I just keep following because at this point I'm not willing to let him get into trouble on his own. But I'll respect his wish for space until I see trouble coming his way.
All right. You're really just determined to be this odd kind of vibe going. Your vibes, man. You watch and follow as Cole walks to the governor's house, then around it and to the right towards a small area of forestry. It's not a full forest, but it's a good area of forest land, and just walks directly past the tree line and into the forest.
I'm just gonna follow him until, something happens.
Actually, I need you to roll perception, Emmanuel.
Could a certain someone roll perception too?
The thing is, with familiars, what's the distance on being able to...
I get a 4 again.
Telepathic communication, that's been passed a long time ago. But they never actually disappear unless you will them to, or they drop to 0 HP. So Russet will remember the experiences and be able to relay it back later.
Okay, so Russet can roll perception as well.
He's acting autonomously at the moment. And is it based on hearing or smell?
No, it is sight.
Okay. That is a 6.
Yeah, no.
So a 4 and a 6. Great.
A lot of forest.
Wait, should Rayanne roll? Or?
No, Rayanne and Natalie aren't there.
Oh, wait, sorry. Natalie was talking and I was confused. Sorry.
Yeah. That was a certain someone follow.
Yes. Okay.
You can't be fooled if you fool yourself. Anyway. Neither of you pick up on anything off happening. Just a normal trek into a patch of trees that doubled as a very small forest. You keep following after for about 20-25 minutes before Cole stops in a less denser portion of the trees and just stands there for at least a few minutes.
I take a seat and watch quietly.
Cole takes a few breaths before reaching in his breast pocket, pulling out a pretty fancy ring, actually. We actually never described the ring, I just realized, so... Yeah.
You get to describe it now, as you want.
I do.
Because it's something Cole would have gotten.
Yes, indeed.
So go ahead. Describe the ring.
So I don't know ring materials, but it's, the ring is, it's a nice blue color with pretty intricate engravings on it. If an Minue could see it even from a distance, it looks like it would cost a small fortune. And after Cole pulls it out, He places it on the ground, takes a few steps back, and just sits in front of it, pretty silent for a while, before, with a almost pained tone to it, just, I don't know what to do, Elisa. So much has been happening lately. I don't know what to do anymore. I keep making these same mistakes. I wish that you were here, because I know you could guide me through it. And he just stays like that, talking to the ring for a long while.
Actually, with
Does any
doing
dangerous
this,
animals come up on him?
with doing what he's doing, both Naminue and Russet would have seen the fact that he pulled out a ring, though maybe not the material and what their engravings are, because it's a ring, it's small. Engravings are like high perception, but would have noticed that he pulled out ring, set it down, sat down and started talking to it and mentioned Alyssa. Softy, huh?
Brienne hesitates there for a second, not really sure
No,
what she should.
Cheyenne not there.
Oh, I'm so dumb. What?
Cheyenne is with Natalie, and Natalie and Ryan are going to the Arcanum. Well, if that's where you want to leave it, Josh, we can move over to them.
Whoops, I'm really sorry.
Yeah, we can move over to them. Cole's just
go ahead.
Cole's just basically going to be talking his heart out for the next little while.
No, I'm just there to
Having
make sure he doesn't get ambushed.
With someone name dropped. Thanks for putting story bits in here. I don't even got to do anything.
You're welcome.
All right, so with that, and Naminue and Russet just listening in on Cole bearing his heart to someone named Alyssa, Natalie and Ryan, you're headed to the Arcanum, yes?
Yes.
Yeah.
So the both of you head out after. This is happening concurrently, by the way, around the same time. And you head out to where you know the Arcanum to be. It's a relatively normal trek for the both of you. So you head out and down a slightly smaller side road to the gates, and you expect for a moment to see the normal guard that's there. The guard that you recognized and heard called as Shayla. But there's someone different there, a human man with a rather stern expression until sees someone approach and tightens his grip on the spear at his side. He is decorated in more heavy armor. This dark brown, almost black eyes and seemingly dyed red hair, as there's streaks of brown curling through it. Holt, who are you?
Oh boy, this sounds like more confrontation.
Hi.
Hello, we've come to see Mistress Jocelyn.
Name?
Is she here today? Natalie Holostia and Gestures to Ryan.
Rianne, who doesn't remember her last name. Oh no.
Doesn't remember her
Sorry,
own last
fuck.
name.
Ugh, I'm dying.
I don't know if I ever wrote a last name for her. It's just Rianne.
Should probably fix that, but like last names are just a formality at this point. Anyway.
If anyone can think of a good last name, I'm taking suggestions.
We'll get to that later.
Okay.
He looks between the both of you after hearing your name, nods, and says, "Yes, of the headmistress, then." And then taps the end of his spear on the ground, and the gates creak open to allow you both entry. A much easier confrontation than the other guard that was usually stationed here. Morris, you're trying to kill me.
Yeah.
For those listening to the recording, the player behind Ryan said Ryan Ryanson.
It's been decided.
No. She's a dragonborn. There's names that you can have. Anyhow.
Just Ryan for short.
God.
She made her own last name.
Okay, the gates creaked open for the both of you, so you could be admitted entry.
I hecking love what's going on right now, just letting you know while I have Kitten, like, right here. So, yes, you.
As Natalie is quickly walking in, hopefully before the guy changes his mind.
With Ryan in tow. A grumpy cleric.
Exactly.
As per usual, as soon as the both of you step up to the main doors, they seem to recognize your presence and slowly open with a bit more force. Not force. Force is not the word I'm looking for. Strain. The exact opposite of force. They open with a bit more strain than the last time that you were around here, but you just sum it up to magic being needed to resupply for whatever is making this thing work. And you walk inside, and it's the same as you last recall it, with hanging lanterns and lights and some different colors, but mostly the same pinkish purple arcane energy, with a bunch of scholars going to and fro, some of them looking more paced, more frustrated, possibly because they can't find the information that they're looking for. A typical bookworm mood.
Not wrong.
Bless you.
Thank you.
Is Natalie looking for Jocelyn?
As Natalie will be the way to where Jocelyn usually is.
You turn your gaze to the right, to where you remember going into her office. And sure enough, there's a light on under the door, but the door is currently closed. And from this distance, you can't really tell why that is, because the last time you were here, it was at least creaked open to signal that people were welcome to walk inside. Now it's closed. You can only assume that means she has company, or that she's busy.
Well, she'll still walk up and give it a good knock.
You knock on the door, and at first there's no response. 1 minute, 2. It gets a bit awkward after the 3rd minute.
Oh yeah, after the first it was pained, awkward silence.
Oh yeah, absolutely. The first one is just like hell.
Knocking again, but a bit more slowly.
At the second knock, there's a very short pause, about 10 to 15 seconds, before there's what you can hear to be a slight, sudden shuffle of paper, like someone was startled. And then the clattering of an inkwell onto the ground. And then a quill. And then a book.
Natalie exchanges a very guilty look to Ryan, like, oh, did I do this?
And then more shuffling of paper, and what sounds like something being knocked down.
It just
Oh no.
All in the span of like 5 seconds. And then there's silence for 10 seconds. Followed by the door creaking open slightly, and a very disheveled looking Jocelyn peeking through the crack with a haphazardly decorated office behind her. You look
Natalie,
reasonably tired.
yeah. Natalie gives a little. It's very, very suddenly uncomfortable.
For flavor, she does have that like imprint of somebody who fell asleep on something that they probably shouldn't have. So it's like on the side of her face.
What a mood. I
She
think
straight up fell asleep on her book, and it just, hi, welcome, you have a book imprint on the side of your face. So you can intuit that she was startled out of a nap in the middle of working.
Hello, I'm sorry to disturb you. We've come to ask you about something that's happened to us as of late. Is now a good time, or?
She yawns as you're talking. Is like trying to get herself more awake for this conversation, and she drags her hands down her face. Yeah, I'd suppose you do have a couple of things to talk about, especially all the notes you left me in your absence. Yeah, sure. Come in. And she opens the door wider for the both of you to come in.
Thank you.
Go in.
As the door closes behind the both of you, there's a lot of hanging lanterns, but most of them are either really dim or gone out completely. It's much darker in this room than the light underneath the door would have given credit for. And there is a bunch of papers just scattered across the floor. There's a couple of quill pens just dropped onto the floor. There's a couple of books that are open, laying either on their spine or on their pages on the ground. Seems like she's been in here for a while. If the mess and the rather worn-looking edges of her robes are anything to tell by, that look as if they've been repeatedly used as a unfortunate casualty of some of her studies.
Upon seeing the state of the room, Natalie will begin the ritual cast of an unseen servant just to concentrate on in the background. Hopefully finish up by the time they're done here. And maybe help out with the mess.
So fucking considerate. Natalie, no. Natalie's so fucking nice. So, for Unseen Servant, the ritual casting is how long?
It's going to be 10 minutes, but it's concentration after the initial starting of cast.
So, before you even can get started with the ritual, you start to move towards this ritual for Unseen Servant, and Jocelyn puts up her hand as if to stop you and says, Don't worry, It's all right. I'll get things cleaned up shortly. I just
Alright.
I just kind of woke up, and the both of you do know it's like the middle of the morning, reaching slightly towards early noon almost.
In that case, Natalie just kind of reluctantly puts her spell book away and says, "Oh, all right. If you're sure." And
Yeah, of
then
course.
gets out her journal to get down to brass tacks.
She uses a mage hand to pull over two rather comfortable looking seats over towards the front of her desk, at which point she actually goes to sit back down, looking a bit more comfortable now that she is sitting down rather than walking around. So what do you both need from me?
All right. Natalie takes a seat and plops the journal down to the same page as at breakfast, and says, "This page here, is it in your copy as well, or?"
Um, I hope not. That would be a waste of paper, but I can check. And she reaches behind her desk and pulls out a drawer and takes out a smaller tome, but it's thicker than what Natalie has. And she flips through it and goes to what she believes is the last page in hers where she last saw anything. And she nods at what she sees and then turns the page and then holds it up. It's completely blank, a fresh page of paper. I don't see anything, so thankfully, no. You might want to take care of that before it stains the rest of your notes, because that might transfer.
Possibly. It hasn't yet, so here's hoping. But the reason I wanted to ask is because this page was written in, well, what could be considered a dream, though it's obviously not that simple.
I could explain it very simply if you'd like me to.
I think we'd love that.
You fell asleep while writing and you knocked over your inkwell.
No, not quite. You see, this dream was shared by others in my group. She gestures to Ryan.
Yep.
Okay. She rubs at her eyes, listening vaguely. She's still waking up, but she is listening.
And other consistencies seem to be pain in regions that were compromised during the dream, and recollection of all the experiences, or at least, well, all of the experiences within the dream.
Maybe you all just had something weird together. It's a normal bonding experience for some parties. Seen it happen a couple of times.
We were in separate rooms.
I don't know what to tell you. I have no proof of what you're saying is true. You could be trying to pull a prank on me.
Why would we be...
You have a stained page
seriously,
in your journal that you use to give notes to me. I don't have it, thankfully. It must have not registered as any words. And you're saying that you took notes in a dream, meaning you were asleep. It's very easy to knock over your inkwell when you're asleep and you're having any number of dreams, good or bad, so I can't really help you on that front.
Well, clearly it wasn't just a dream.
Natalie will reach into her pack and take out her bottle of ink and put it on the table to show that there's a bit much for it to have knocked out this much, or is that not correct?
You could just have another bottle of ink.
We're not. This isn't a joke. We're really concerned about this because in that dream, things may have happened that not all of us will be okay with. We want to know if there are any repercussions now if there was carryover.
She sits there for a moment, one arm across her chest and the other resting on top of her hand, absently scratching at her jaw as if she's trying to think of, like, actually trying to take you seriously. But you can just see in the way that she's reacting that she doesn't believe you. She reasonably, if you talk about a dream and ask about stuff like that, most people aren't going to believe you because you said it was a dream.
Yeah, that's fair.
She's at least trying to see it from a perspective of what can seem like a dream to the person is being done to. And she,
Are running hypothesis is potentially some sort of illusion magic, though it's...
I don't know what to do with this number.
What?
So I was, for the
Did
record,
you roll
I
a
don't,
1?
no. The exact opposite, actually.
Oh.
I was rolling. I don't normally say what I'm rolling for, but in this case, I don't know what to do with the information that I don't know how to give her logistically. But it's a natural 20.
Was
I
it
was
nat
trying.
20 on site?
It was more.
Are you enjoying that problem?
I am. It's interesting. An interesting problem to have. Okay, here's what I can do. I will be honest with you. I don't believe either of your stories, but if what you're saying is true, and from the looks on both of your faces, it does seem to be that you're not trying to pull a fast one on me. So...
Oh, Ran, if we need to prove it, you could cast Zone of Truth, right?
No,
That's true.
please don't cast things in my office.
All right.
I believe you. I believe at least what you're saying you believe to be true. I don't believe that what you're saying is true because that is a bizarre situation that you're presenting to me. But since you're genuinely worried about that, she leans back in her seat and crosses both of her arms over her chest now and sighs. So start from the beginning. What makes you think that there is some deeper meaning to this dream?
Remember when you're done, we've got stuff to do.
This is a very off-topic question. I'm just wondering, is the ink open?
It's open to show that it's not nearly empty.
Can Rand, very subtly, without breaking eye contact, dip her claw in her, and without looking, on the very bottom of the page, doodle a little happy dragon face?
Oh my god.
Please.
Then,
Make a dexterity check.
can certainly try.
Okay.
Make a dexterity check for me.
Alright.
Please don't waste all my ink. Also, maybe ruin the book. That may be bad.
Well, she only got a 7, so...
Is it easy to not ruin the book?
It is a magic item, technically. But with a 7, I will, because it's just a lovely little piece of flavor text. You don't break eye contact, and you have a problem trying to figure out where the ink bottle actually is. So by accident, you almost tip it over and you grab it, then you set it back on its on proper standing. And then, like, out of sheepishness, you don't doodle anything at all. You just kind of pull your hand away and keep your hands to yourself.
Unless you'd like to try again.
No, she's good.
Natalie and Jocelyn just both watch Ryan try and reach for the bottle, almost tip it over, grab it, and then act as if it was exactly what she meant to do.
Yeah.
If Ryan, would you like some ink to get back down, or?
No, I'm good.
Oh, all right.
Jocelyn is still waiting for a explanation as to why you think there's something else hidden behind this dream of yours.
All right. Well, it's just purely based on the fact that we don't usually have communal dreams where odd things are happening and friends shoot us. It doesn't seem like it's a normal dream, and even if it has no deeper meaning, it must have some kind of magical origin. Plus, we thought we saw death.
Yes, in in the dream, at least Ryan and I, we died in the dream, and because there were lasting effects in the case of Ryan's injury, we're worried maybe that might have repercussions as well.
Not to mention the emotional toll it took on some of our teammates.
What about me?
Nothing. Don't worry about it.
That's never something good to hear when coming from a DM.
Yeah, fair.
Everything's okay. Dice are not being rolled.
Just autocorrect an asshole. It's okay. Jocelyn goes quiet for a moment, trying to process what you're telling her. It doesn't sound like any magic that I'm aware of, to be quite honest with you. Though I wouldn't say I'm young. I haven't really seen a lot of major magic. What you're describing is similar to a transfer of planes or to a demi-plane of sorts. Make it seem like a dream, and it only affects certain things, as you've been saying, or at least implying. You wrote something down in your journal there, and you can't read it out here.
Exactly. The
There was
page that I wrote
injuries.
on is out, and that's
Injuries happened, but there's no scarring or bruising, correct?
well, we can't exactly prove what would have happened in a demi-plane that covered its tracks, so to speak.
Something like that. I've never seen anything quite like it. However, it's odd, really. What you're essentially telling me is that there was another place, a demi-plane, we'll say, where you had gone to, that no one else saw the entrance to, that no one else was aware of, while you were asleep in the inn, and I'm sure I could ask Dominic that you were still there and hadn't left your room.
Yeah.
And you're, no offense, expecting me to believe that you had seen death, and that for some reason there are no traces of it. Do you realize what you're telling me?
Yes.
Rather than being a movement in the material plane, maybe it was more the soul that was moved, and we could perceive through that?
Yes, but there's a bit of a problem with messing with the astral plane. There are a bunch of gods that would argue against that. You would know, we would know, if the astral plane was messed with. So I don't know. Whatever happened, it might have just been a strange dream where there were some magic in it that very well could have transferred over.
I'm sure you know a lot about everything, but do you know if there's anyone who has more of a specialty in this kind of thing?
In dream catching?
Yes. So to speak.
Brian, you, as soon as you honestly answer yes, you just get the look of, really? Like, there's nothing said. It is just a universally understood of, are you kidding me? And then she just pinches the bridge of her nose as if this has been a recurring theme for her lately.
Look, it sounds impossible.
Or maybe magic that affects the dreams of people. Natalie says, trying to draw back from that.
See, here's the thing. As far as I can recall, something like this is very rare to happen, as it is very high-tier magic that crosses over quite often. But it's right on the tip of my tongue, but I can't quite remember the entire thing. There was an old story, mostly verbal. No one could get it the same way twice. But there apparently was this group a long time ago, ages ago, that ended up having the same problem as the lot of you. But no one really heard from them. So it might just be tall tale and you all had heard it enough that it decided to mess with you as well. I'm unsure.
Rand isn't very convinced that she could have been influenced by a tale she had never heard, but
it is a lead, at least. Or an explanation.
I honestly haven't been a part of that situation, so I have no idea. I'm really sorry that I can't help you with this.
It's alright. Natalie takes the journal and, taking the advice to make sure that the other pages don't get damaged, tears out the page from the dream.
I need you to roll a strength saving throw.
Okay. Wait, everyone here, or?
No, just you, Natalie. You're the one tearing out the pages.
Okay, strength save. That's a -1. Oh, 15.
When you tug at 15. Your pages, you know the strengths of the pages in your journal. This parchment is not that durable, but the book itself is meant to protect it from any sort of damage. But as you tug at these particular pages, they come off a lot easier than they should. As if they weren't there to begin with. They don't even make the sound of tearing. They actually almost feel like feathers rather than paper in your grasp.
Feels like what rather than paper? You kind of cut
Feathers.
out. If you just answered, I didn't hear anything.
Feathers instead of paper.
That's what it's head of paper.
I'm not allowed to say anything. I'm trying so fucking hard to be coy, and I can't.
What is
Feathers
it in
instead of paper, because I could hear
feathers? Okay.
I'm in hell.
If you could, is there any way you could link this to your home as well? Just because it didn't feel like the other pages, so I'm not sure if maybe it was excluded because of. I'm not sure. Sorry.
Certainly. I could try. I'm not sure if that would work because they are from your journal. And she holds out her hand for you to hand them over.
Yes, Natalie will hand over the ink-soaked sheet of paper.
Strength saving throw.
Oh, cool.
Wait, who's saving throw?
Natalie.
That's 9.
For some strange reason, despite how easily they tore out, you try and hand them over to Jocelyn for her to try and figure something out. You suddenly feel your entire arm become numb and way too heavy, and it just drops. And you're still gripping the pages. And the ink on them, despite having had long enough to dry, starts to drip onto the floor, as if it's fresh.
You fucked up, boy.
Jocelyn just stares and pulls her hand back. I don't think I want that.
Rand casts Detect Magic on the ink on the floor.
Is Natalie's arm still numb?
Yes, as long as she's holding it. Would she drop it?
The first thing she'll try is a remove curse on herself.
I'm going to say this happens at the same time. The detect magic and the remove curse.
Yeah, it'll be Brian first since you said it first.
All right. Ryan, you reach out immediately, both out of paranoia and the dream still getting to you. And you cast Detect Magic, a brief flicker of bluish-purple energy. And for some reason, there's magic there. There is definitely magic there, but for some reason you can't tell what it is. That's not how this spell works. You know how this spell works. It has been used multiple times. You have used it multiple times in the past. That's not how it's supposed to work. But at least you know it's magic somehow. But it's faint, flickering and distant. Natalie, you cast Remove Curse on yourself. And nothing happens. Your arm is still heavy.
Well, the second thing she'll try is remove cursed on the pages.
You cast Remove Curse on the pages this time. And true to form, with any cursed item, there's a pulse of arcane energy. And the pages shimmer and start to catch flame while you're holding them. You still can't feel your arm. Your arm, the one that's holding the pages.
At this point, Natalie's staring at the pages, terrified.
They're still slowly starting to burn.
She's not used to holding time. Help!
Jocelyn tries to cast prestidigitation. I almost managed to get that fucking word right. Almost. But there's a flicker of magic, and nothing happens. Even though it is a small flame, and small flames are usually put out rather easily with that cantrip, that spell. So tiny, so easy to learn. Nothing happens. And it just keeps burning up the sides and across the ink that is still somehow dripping onto the floor, cooling there, instead of being seeping into the wood. With the stone beneath the wood.
Natalie's desperately trying to let go of the page.
Strength saving throw.
But her arm... Could you cast resistance on herself for that one?
If she wants.
Because at this point it's been a friend.
Fran, you're watching this paper starting to burn slowly and still drip something that would usually be evaporated or at least burned away by fire. But
So
it's
it won't
still
matter
dripping.
Resistance won't matter because that was a 2.
Yeah, no.
Ooh.
You try and you know how to work your arm. It's a natural reflex. But instead of letting go, for some reason your arm acts against you and your hand tightens around it, and the fire starts to slowly go out. It's still there, still burning, but it isn't creeping around the edges and through the paper anymore. Jocelyn is looking at the both of you as if you're either pulling a really, really bad prank or something really fucky is happening.
Okay, another attempt to get this out of her hand, Natalie will cast Misty Step and exclude the paper from the teleport. Just getting away from the desk.
You
Will
try
that work?
and cast Misty Step, and it's a spell you use often.
What was that?
But there's a problem this time. The shadows
boy.
gather at your feet, but then they're disturbed suddenly by a sound, a familiar sound to one of you in the room.
Wait, was that the dinging?
It was, yes.
Brienne stands up, yells for like 5 seconds, sits back down, and just stares at the table with her head in her hands.
Yeah, you've definitely got a strange look from Jocelyn. And Natalie, your Misty Step had no effect. If anything, it put out the fire, and there's seemingly no damage whatsoever to the pages.
Natalie will attempt one more time to let go after resistance.
It's strength saving throw.
Yep. There we go. Maybe this will work. Because resistance at a D4. Oop. Alright, that's a 14 total. Hopefully it wasn't 50.
This time you know... You're right, but shut up, I'm trying to DM.
Was it DC 15?
Okay. You feel your arms try and lock up again, but for whatever reason, whatever was making you keep your grip steady and tight and certain, it just lets go like spring locks. And the papers fall to the floor, with the ink still on them in the puddle of ink. but they're not soaking up the ink. They're just floating there as if on top of a surface.
Natalie backs away from the pages, looking with utter fear in her eyes to Jocelyn, not understanding what's going on here, and very afraid of it.
I can't begin to explain any better than that particular image, but I'll try. She's staring at the both of you, waiting for an explanation of her own to whatever the hell just happened, and she's silent for a while, looks at the both of you, and then seems to realize you don't know what's happening either. She takes a breath, feels herself, runs a hand through her hair, which is much more messy. Suddenly, it's kind of like when a cat has it just arches its back and all of its hair stands up. So it happens because of magic being in the air. Just poof. It's all frizzy. And she pats it down a little bit, gets her composure back. Okay. So, at least you're not lying to me. And she laughs awkwardly as if she doesn't know what else to say.
Ran is just staring at the table. I know it's happening. I'm in hell. This is hell. We're all dead.
Natalie does not seem any more put at ease by that. Should we leave the crazy to go back to Lethera?
Yeah,
Just
sure.
letting that whole situation ruminate?
Sounds good to me.
One moment.
Serious typing.
roll a perception check really quick with the both of you.
All right.
That wasn't very good for Jocelyn. That wasn't very good. I'm just gonna
Okay,
sum it up to her
that's,
being freaked the hell out.
That's an 18,
Okay.
actually.
So you're doing good. I rolled an 18 initially before we even started, and now I'm rolling low.
I got 20, but not a nat 20. A modified 20. Okay.
Jocelyn, we're not gonna talk about Jocelyn.
Oh no.
She doesn't see fuck. Go ahead, Nina.
Jocelyn's trying to distract herself from what's going on right now.
Yeah,
Everyone
thank
else is hyper aware and fuck.
She's literally just nervous laughter. What the fuck? Go ahead, Nina.
Happily. Ryan, Natalie, you both hear a somewhat familiar chuckle. It sounds rather familiar. You think you've heard it before from a thief that led you to a door.
What was that noise?
That's Rayanne's soul leaving her body.
It feels like he's chuckling right on the back of your neck. Just that slight feeling of a breath there.
Are you sure about that? He's real small.
Well, point. Maybe not your dragonborn. That's a tall person.
Well, he's sitting.
Even for
so
him.
He's sitting.
I'm also relatively small for a dragonborn. I'm like,
That's
yeah.
what I meant.
Yeah, but
He's short.
yeah. Anyway, moving on.
Natalie whips around to see if, just try to see where the source of that was, but knowing that it's not going to be there.
He's not.
The thief in the dream. That How? What? Natalie is not processing any of this. No way that makes any sense to anyone else.
Jocelyn just looks at you weird. And is like, what? What thief? There's only us three in here.
Natalie feels like she may be going crazy.
Rain is definitely going crazy. Nope, this is a laughing guy.
Yes.
I need both of you to roll a perception check. Oh, that's better. Natural 16. Great.
Roll a what?
Perception.
17. Modified.
I feel like you cut out both times because roll a what?
Perception check.
Perception. That's a 19.
Okay. So, as this happens, Natalie, you turn back around just remembering in an instant, right, the pages. You turn around, and they're gone. The ink is gone, the pages are gone. Any indication that they were ever there just immediately disappeared as soon as you turned around, as soon as there was that chuckle on the back of your neck.
See, maybe the curse on the pages, maybe he put it that as he turns the gesture to the pages, they're not there anymore.
That's one with a natural 16 plus 5 to perception. Natalie and Ryan aren't having a great time now.
She just goes silent.
Where did those pages go? And what thief? What thief are you talking about? She looks entirely frazzled by the situation.
Natalie tried to take some deep breaths to calm herself.
A thief from the dream. It's just a lot of explaining.
Yes, he was a caster of some sort, and I think I wouldn't be surprised if illusions were his specialty. And
Goodbye.
Do we hear that, or?
I
certainly do. That? He's not hiding that one.
Immediately, Jocelyn just has the reaction of, what?
That
one I heard. Who was that? How did they get in? Do you know them?
That was...
Why did you befriend a thief?
I wouldn't say befriend.
Not befriend at all, no.
My boyfriend's an asshole. Okay. All right. Beautiful. Okay. Now I kind of believe you. That was fucking weird. If you'll pardon my language.
Language pardoned.
So do you believe us now?
I kind of have to. And she gestures towards the entire room as if it was the scene of a murder or something. Okay, all right, okay. And she runs her hands through her hair again and then drags them down her face slowly. Hangs her head.
Next to Ryan, Natalie just sits down, also puts her face in her hands. This is too much.
Nini, I have a question for you.
A roll followed by that.
Yes.
Fine.
With a modified 23 in history, would she be aware of Any strange thieves? Notable strange thieves.
Yeah, just maybe. You definitely know about the idiot. Yes, indeed.
I got a natural 19. Sorry. I couldn't. There's no way around that one. Okay. So I still have no idea who that was. I think I need actual time off now. She looks very nervous on the surface.
We all might.
She tries to fix up anything that was toppled over in her sudden waking up, only like 30 minutes prior, if that.
Natalie starts, like, just to try to help out, almost starts to do the unseen servant ritual again, but realizes she's not in the headspace for it right now, and it's not going to work. Just arms on the desk and face on desk. It is.
Is the dinging?
No more
Has it gone
dinging.
away?
There's no
Okay,
more
good.
dinging. It only happened once.
No more dinging. Once. You're good.
The
The
one
magic users are not having a good time today.
The understatement of the century.
Yeah.
This
The
is when they
headmistress,
bring our wacky bolts into Jocelyn's office.
who's actually paying attention to Jocelyn? I want to ask.
Natalie would, if not for the incredible amount of lie going on.
Fair.
I'm really going to kill my boyfriend. But it's okay.
You're not allowed to kill me. Foreboding.
Yeah, but you are my player. Anyway. So, Natalie's not paying attention. Is Ryan paying attention? I'm asking this for a reason.
Rand is paying attention, yes.
What's her passive insight?
Passive insight. 17.
Jesus Christ. Okay.
Yeah, I just put everything in that, I think.
Fair. Valid.
Perfect.
I love you. My gosh.
The opposite of passive perception. You got the highest second passive insight. Anyway. You look up after registering that the dinging is gone. Thank God. And you see the way that Jocelyn is moving around and the way that she said, I don't know who that could have been, strikes you as off. It sounds like a lie, but not malicious one. She genuinely seems nervous and afraid and a little bit irritated.
Rand takes a second to look at her and... Are you sure you don't know who that is? Because we could really use any information you have right now.
No, I don't know who that is. Lying.
Rand nudges Natalie. Kind of subtly.
Yes. What?
Gives her like a look. Looks back to... just looks back and forth between two people. She's not very subtle.
Yeah, Jocelyn just more and more discomfort.
Natalie just gives an exhausted look back, then looks over to Jocelyn.
She's not looking at either of you, just
what
busy
do you
cleaning.
want me?
All right. Jocelyn. Do we need to be afraid, do you think, in your magic expertise?
Afraid of what, specifically?
I don't know. More dreams, I suppose?
I wouldn't say so. Those are 1 in a million. If you have absolutely terrible luck, it's 1 in 10. You guys don't seem to be that bad. She double takes on her words, and then
Yeah, don't say that out loud.
and then just, I'm going to say it's a solid bet that that is the only time you're going to be dealing with that. Just don't.
Tell it to the Shadowfell portal.
What? Excuse me? A what?
Natalie just face desks again.
In which magic users have a very, very bad day.
Natalie, it's at this point you realize that she hasn't gotten the time to read the notes that you took on Sylvana.
Yeah, that's a part of the reason she's face desking again.
Natalie fucking dies. What an eventful fucking episode that we're doing here. Just everything's fine. There's story things. There's Lucera finding a new person to go to. There's Natalie and Ryan having the worst day.
Yeah.
You should have just left those papers alone.
Jocelyn puts her hands on her hips and then taps her fingers against them quietly and then stretches. Just awkward motions. Like, Ryan, you are starting to realize very quickly that she is just the worst at keeping secrets. She is really bad at it. You can tell that she's the question of if she actually knows who that was or anything about that person. She definitely does. She just doesn't seem very comfortable with talking about whoever that was.
Spill now, or I'm catching some truth.
Okay. You're all right. Rand's tired, team. Okay. You groan and say, still okay, and cast Zone of Truth. And I'm pretty sure, what is the saving throw on that? What's the saving throw on that?
Sorry, I'm on the wrong page.
Completely
Give me a
valid.
sec.
I just need to know because there's no way in hell that she's gonna let this happen.
Alright, Charisma 15.
14.
And she could just dispel, like, immediately, without saying anything that could be damning.
That was a 14.
Nice.
Oh, lucky.
You magic users are having a terrible bad day, and then this happens.
Woo!
Yeah, they're all having a bad day. What's different?
Yeah.
There's a new magic user having another bad day.
I actually have to see what it does. I'm pretty sure it's not like you immediately tell the truth. It's more of a being compelled to, right?
It just goes against perception.
Can't speak a deliberate lie while in the radius. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. So she doesn't say anything outright, but Rayanne, you can tell that it's affected her.
All right. So, do you know him?
No.
What was that was just garbled. Like, I don't know.
No. I don't know him.
Do you know anything about him?
She doesn't answer. She isn't looking
Natalie?
at you either. She hasn't answered. She doesn't look at you.
Yes.
Because you realize the context of Zone of Truth is as long as they don't lie, they can say whatever they want or say nothing at all.
That is true.
Just that they can't lie.
I don't know. Rayanne looks at Natalie, makes motions like, make her talk.
Natalie just gives you a very confused look.
Alright. Rayanne.
1, she's not an interrogator. 2, not in the mood for it either.
Yes, Rayanne.
Anne's tired.
Alright. Rayanne
Is
says, alright. Books are... I can burn the books.
Roll persuasion with advantage?
Okay.
okay.
I don't want to say that's intimidation, because with that tone of voice, I don't think you could be very intimidating. Your voice kind of cracked there, buddy.
Yeah. Well, I have +0 on both, so it's fine.
Everything's fine, TM.
Alright, wait.
Persuasion with advantage.
20. Uh, 6.
She stares at you and says, "You wouldn't burn books here, because then I wouldn't allow you entrance ever again."
Don't do that. Please.
Bold of you assume we're ever going to come here again.
I'd
I
like
wasn't
to.
implying only one person.
Okay. Natalie, tell me of some blackmail here.
You're bad at the stage whisper. That's a whole ass stage whisper you did there.
Yeah.
He's just staring at you, Ryan, entirely unimpressed.
And Natalie's look of confusion doesn't get any better for you. Why? No. Why
Okay.
would I?
Let me rephrase this. Please.
I still. Are you asking please to Jocelyn or Natalie?
I don't know, both. Anyone.
Whoever makes the better response.
Yeah.
Please don't get me thrown out of here.
She actually sighs, low and quiet, and lets her arms drop to her sides with just a pat against her sides. Okay, fine. I know of him generally. His name is Garrick. And by all means, should not be alive. Yet he seems to be anyway. So you have two people from the same adventuring group around you, and it's not looking all that great for your luck to have both of them around you. One of them already hates me, and the other one is Garrick. So I'm sorry. But yes, I know of him. I don't know him. He should be dead. I don't know.
Why did you not want to tell us about that?
Because he should be dead? I don't like admitting
Good
dead
point.
men are walking around in my Arcanum. This is my place of business. I work here. I run this place. I don't want dead men walking around.
I can't help but feel lying to us would have given you work reputation.
I don't think he'll bother you anymore. You probably had something that belonged to him. Maybe the pages were his. I don't know, and I quite frankly don't want to know, because he likes to steal things that are both supposed to be his, that he wants to be his, and at some point, I'm pretty sure he just steals things because he's bored. That's what I've read, at least.
He's
a part of Lysera's old adventuring party. Ask her. I don't know.
Huh. Well, Rand turns to Natalie. Do we okay.
Do we what?
Should we ask her? I don't know. Rand is a little bit worried about bringing up possibly dead teammates to Lythera. This seems like it's not going to go well, but
Part of me wants to just ignore this and be done with it, because it hasn't gone well looking into it so far.
it hasn't. But I don't know. Does he not seem like he could be a threat to you? I mean, he's already sort of attacked us. We don't know what he's capable of. I mean, he's just running around stealing things.
Honestly, every time if we just don't mess with him, maybe he'll leave us alone.
She has her face in her hands at this point. And very, very, very quietly, you only hear, "Get out." Please, get out of my establishment.
Start heading towards the door.
Yeah, Natalie will pick up her journal and ink and...
I'm sorry, I'm being made to laugh, and I'm trying so hard.
Just start trudging towards the door.
She does not move. She's now taking a seat again rather heavily. Because the Zone of Truth is still up. She's extremely exhausted.
You gonna dispel that, Ryan, or?
Oh, yeah, she dispels it.
She's still sitting there looking extremely tired. Ryan, at this point, with just a glance over your shoulder, as you're keeping with Natalie, presumably, you actually do see her expression shift from nervous and trying to hide something to sad, confused, and immensely worried about something.
Rayanne keeps heading out. She's not sure this is the right time to push here, so, and she's also just been kicked out, so. She's feeling
so you both leave?
Yes.
So you both head out, one of you feeling a bit guilty now that the truth has come out, and that it seems as if it wasn't malicious, it was just nervous and confused to a point of she doesn't have an explanation. It just happened. It's a thing. And it killed me anyone for off this recording. You both walk out, and there are a few people that glance your way, see your expression, and then look away as if they had witnessed something too personal and move elsewhere. You head out and past the gates, and this time the guard doesn't stop you. In fact, he barely even acknowledges you exist. And you keep walking out with the knowledge that you've gained, and a very unfortunate series of events once again.
Unfortunate series of events is just Natalie's life at this point.
Yeah. I think we should get the opinions of everyone else to see if we should keep pursuing this. I think we should, but
If you're sure, I have
Right
tried to find out more about this. Just gestures at nothing in particular. Is how we all ended up in that place in whatever you call it, a dream. And honestly, I think maybe we should just not. Just avoid having any involvement
You
with it
guys are really
whatsoever.
trying to make this canon, and I find it hysterical. I just kind of went with it. Just turning like several NPCs into SpongeGar for a second. But are you guys headed back to the inn?
Yes. Unless right to go anywhere else.
No.
As you both look up, you realize that you've been in there a little longer than you thought you were. It's about noon at this point, maybe a little after. Sun high in the sky, and it's pretty chilly for being sunny and with little clouds in the sky. At this point, we're going to jump back over to Cole, Naminue, and Russet. Because, good lord, the magic users are having a terrible day. I'm so sorry. That wasn't my intention. Y'all just decided to be like that. But, Naminue, you watch as Cole, after a while of talking, picks up the ring, puts it back into its breast pocket, and stands up, turning and ready to leave. Are you hidden, or are you actually out in the open?
I pretend I didn't see anything and just
you are sitting on the ground.
Stand around until, he starts moving back.
So, well, you don't need all that high of perception to begin with to see the barbarian gnome sitting on the ground just outside of what was your field of vision. With, actually, I need you to roll perception for this.
Where's my dice?
To see if you actually see the small fluff.
The certain someone, quote unquote.
Yep.
Oh, certain someone?
Should a certain someone roll again, or?
Yeah.
Oh, damn.
You can't always keep those.
26.
Well, nat 20, which is a 25, but a nat 20.
Fuck.
Yeah, you don't, for some fucking reason, even though you know exactly what it looks like and that it would look weird in this situation, a glowing arcane ferret. Can't fucking see it.
It's secretly hiding behind, like, on the Minue's back.
Excellent. So you only see Naminue sitting there waiting, seemingly acting as if she's just gotten there.
We might have to delay this a bit because lady's husband is calling her.
Oh, yeah.
True. This is a weird way for the session to go. I was expecting you guys to actually figure out what you were going to do in at least the back half or at least the next session, but we're just going to get story things and two characters trying to make a Halloween special canon.
Yeah.
Hey, you let me write down things.
Look, Cole needed self-reflection.
Y'all...
If there weren't a
I'm
written
sorry.
record, it
Hold
would seem
on.
like...
Did you just say self-reflection?
No! I'm going to kill Nini.
I'm sorry, but that's what I heard.
I said self-reflection.
This is precisely why I'm also going to kill Nini, just in a different game.
Go fuck yourself.
Wait, literally. Would you fuck your doppelganger. Anyway. Oh, same wavelength. I love you.
Well,
The answer is yes. I'm not saying to which question, the one in chat or the one actually spoken. I'm gonna say yes.
Yes to both. Why not both? This is why I'm dating you. This is precisely why I'm dating you. Among other things.
What?
I actually don't know. No, never mind. I'll leave that for later. For brevity's sake, we're probably gonna just switch over to Lucera and do what she's doing because I don't know when Lady's coming back.
Yeah, that's fair. Let's do that.
Let's go to Lucera for the time being. Lucera,
yes.
where are you headed?
What was that place called?
It was said
Volticus?
to. That's not it.
Voltiax or whatever?
It was said to Lucera as Voltiax.
Voltiax.
Well, there's
The timing!
What?
Oh, timing. Timing.
Well.
I'm so sorry, everybody listening. The timing on all of the things that are happening right now is just pitch perfect. This is glorious.
Okay, now that my husband
your God
has
level
finished
of
his call.
This is Nini's God level of timing. Except it's working against her.
Yep.
So, what now?
Go ahead and do the menu.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you do see her. Not that she's trying.
So, what does Cole say when he sees me just pretending like I didn't hear anything, which probably I really didn't hear anything with a perception of 4.
With a perception of 4, you didn't see him, you didn't see, like, the actual details of the ring, but you did see him and hear him. And
oh, well, I'm just going to pretend like I didn't hear him do anything, and I'll just be leaning against a tree, looking in the opposite direction.
Oh, so Russet is on top of the tree. There we go.
I thought I told no one to follow me.
Did he say something?
And then he just starts walking back.
I follow along, right alongside him now that he's seen me. You know, we're a party now. No matter what happens, it's not good to let one of our own go off on their own when there might be danger about.
I can handle myself. I always have.
Well, you're part of a family now. You don't have to. What? Cole remains silent at that?
Cole just pauses, actually stopping in his track. He just looks up like, you don't get it, do you? I can't be a part of a family again.
I give him a side look, and I go, you know, you can't always choose who's going to be family or not. Sometimes you're just adopted whether you want to be or not.
What if I shoot you? Like what happened in that dream?
Okay. Sorry.
What?
Russet is peeved.
Sorry, I just fucking had a fucking visceral reaction to that one. Okay. I'm not surprised. I was just having a moment of, okay. Continue.
Well,
You're surprised at a cold moment?
No, I said I'm not
As
surprised.
Russet is free, very concerned.
I just had a white guy blinking moment. It's okay. Continue.
well, you know, if it happens, it happens. But that don't mean nothing. I've had worse growing up with my father. Heck, I'm a barbarian. Who do you think taught me?
Oh yeah.
Cole just shakes his head and sighs. Somehow, you are so unbearingly naive.
Well, it's better to look on the bright side of things rather than what could have been. If I was always thinking of what could have been or what might have happened, well, I wouldn't be here now. At this point, I start scanning our surroundings to make sure, like, we aren't going to get attacked.
Or perception.
Maybe you can spot dangerous Russet.
That's a natural 20.
Okay.
That still applies here.
I get a 6.
It hasn't been that long.
Again.
Oh, +6? That means you win, actually.
No, I get a 6.
Oh. Never mind.
Just a 6.
Just 6.
Okay. I thought you said you got a natural 20 +6. And it was just like, oh, that would be perfect.
I did not say I got a natural 20. Someone else said that.
Yeah, you don't see anything. It's a nice day out. Barely any clouds in the sky. Around this time, it's almost noon. Pretty chilly out.
Cole just starts walking again. You do realize that this is only temporary, right?
Just a few.
I start whistling. Like, I just start whistling and pretend he didn't say it.
After we're done with all this work for the Queen, you realize I'm probably going to be gone, right?
You're still here, aren't you?
Job's not finished.
Well, who knows what the future may bring. You're still gonna be like my brother.
I think that's a good point to switch over to Lacera.
Yeah.
So, timing.
Yeah, sounds like a good idea.
Sounds like a good time to just let that
Yeah, with
fucking
all
marinate.
the awkward That's all the awkwardness.
Oh yeah, absolutely. The two worst people in the party to have a heart-to-heart. But Sarah, you're headed to Voltiax. And after a bit of talk on the street, and a question or two, you're shown towards Voltiax Elite, a adventuring guild of sorts. Less an actual place where adventuring parties come to and more to find jobs to get paid by specific people. Job listing rather than the actual guild itself. And you open the door to this nicely kept establishment, and it seems rather dead around this hour, possibly because the job listing, yeah, she did. Anyhow, you walk in, and there's a board about 25, 30 feet away that doesn't have very many postings on it as of right now. And there's very few people sitting around at the laid out tables and small arrangements for what looks like poker of some sort, card games, but no one's there currently. There are a few people near the board, but they don't seem to really acknowledge your presence.
Lithera is going to walk up to the board, take a look around, see if there are any of them that are posted by the lady from the shop, from Ashley's shop.
Damn it. This is one way to keep me awake.
Your players do their best.
Yeah. Sadly, still can probably hear it best according to everyone else. But you walk up to the board, and it looks as if there have definitely been more postings. They look like as if a lot of them recently have been removed in a hurry. There are a couple of them, but none of them have the name Ashley.
Lithera raises a brow at the board and then looks over to what she would consider as the usuals.
There's a relatively well-built human male, dark brown skin with scars across his face as if he was attacked by some sort of bear or wildlife animal that he may have barely gotten away from. And he's currently going through his what looks like earnings in loose scale mail armor and a great sword at his side. And there's a couple of asleep individuals, one that looks like a half orc with a sheath on its back with looks like a very long, thin sword. And there's a small elven lady who is seemingly asleep. The only one that looks awake at this current moment is a human male.
Sorry, distracted by kitten. She walks over and asks, "Do you know who took the job boards up for Ashley's?"
He pauses in counting his earnings and looks up at you. The expression he has is half annoyed and half just generally rugged. It looks like the sort of person that is generally rude. Just generally not a pleasant person to talk to. But then his voice is different. Rough, sure, but not entirely meant to be malicious or rude, just business oriented. Actually, that might have been. There used to be about 4 or 5. Always needs something. But there was
I
a
think most
gnome in
magic
here.
users do always need something.
He chuckles at that. That they do. There was a gnome in here that might have grabbed something. The last one. There's needed something from wyverns over in the Desserin Valley. Might have been the gnome that came through here earlier.
You have my thanks.
Of course. He gives a 2-finger salute and returns to his counting. Motherfucker. Anyway, I am not explaining that to the people who are listening. The other 2 haven't stirred.
Well, that's the face that came to mind when you said generally unpleasant.
Seemingly generally unpleasant to talk to. Generally, though, anybody who you randomly start to flash your tits to would be unpleasant to talk to when they're doing business.
Lucera then leans in a little bit further and looks at him and goes, "Know where I might be able to put a rather dangerous job posting?"
Might be someplace in Waterdeep you might want to go to.
What if I want to post one and pay?
What kind of posting are you getting at here? And he actually looks up from what he's doing, more interested in you now than his earning. And he seems like quite the stingy individual.
Let's say I have an idea of a rather dangerous creature roaming about, and I'd like to keep this place safe.
Well, you could always post something here and we could deliver a copy of sorts. Another series of them to those guilds in Waterdeep and up north to see if someone will take up your offer. Here, I think most of the adventurers are taking smaller, safer bets, but possibly a couple of folks will want to. Depends on how difficult this is.
Then how quiet might you be able to keep it? I need very able bodies, the likes of which might be able to tangle with a dragon.
Roll persuasion. I was going to give you but because of someone else muddling around here. Not so much.
$18.
He sits there for a moment thinking, me and my small crew will be able to keep it quiet, but
I was expecting to compensate. Don't worry.
Compensation is really only a matter if safety is guaranteed. What type of dragon are you referring to? A young one? An adult?
Something that shouldn't be of this plane.
At this point, Lucera, you see both the half-orc and the elven lady vaguely, briefly twitch. Their fingers just move ever so slightly. No se desplain, you say. What makes you so certain?
Because I've been there. I know the signs. But it's very rare for those of power to believe such things.
Someone's beeping in the background.
That's me. Guess who's making croissants?
Get those croissants. This has been a recurring theme with Nini. The croissant.
No
Hey, if I have
croissant,
'em-
very tasty.
You see, damn it, Josh. Anyway, Lacera, you see,
issue?
I have many. You see the human male look at you as if he's half interested and half worried, as you did say that you were there and can recognize the signs. So they're reasonably a bit wary now. But after about a minute of consideration, he nods slowly. It's not quite. It's not disbelief, it's more reservation. Because you are someone random and new, an absolute stranger walking in and claiming to have a dangerous posting. He has no idea if you're telling the truth or not, however, you seem like the sort to not lie to him as far as he's concerned. Especially not about something like this. All right. I can give you that much at least. Those in charge don't really take kindly to the words of those that have no ability, no standing. So, if you post it generally speaking, I could get it up to Waterdeep from the trail along the coast. Possibly ask Yashiva here to help out. And gestures towards the elven woman.
Lacera nods. It would be much appreciated.
All right. Well, are you going to be informing us on what this posting you have in mind is? Oh, and as for Ashley's request, she posts every week or so. Come back in about 3 more days. She always comes on the same day.
Very well. I'll keep that in mind. As for my posting, let all adventurers beware. There is a shadow dragon about. And there is something coming, a war of sorts. But I'm not entirely certain by whom. Or at least I hope I do not know.
Roll persuasion with disadvantage.
That's an 8.
As soon as you say shadow dragon, he deflates. He almost looks incredibly annoyed. Oh, you're with... I should have known. Too good to be true. Sorry, Yashiva. The lady just shrugs and says, well, there's a shot. And just shakes his head and says, all right, okay. Real funny. Just go ahead, tell your gnome friend that I'm seriously not interested in her gaggle of lies.
Another disbeliever.
I would believe it if it weren't for the fact that she was also trying to seduce me. It sounds like a tall
She
tale by
tried
someone
what?
trying to get into my... Yes! Do you not know this? Aren't you one of hers? One of her party?
I'm starting to think at this point I'm more their babysitter.
So, since you seem to be more trustworthy than whoever you're with, is there actually a shadow dragon? Should we be worried? And for God's sake, please keep her under control. Don't let her back here without supervision.
I will definitely endeavor to do such. But yes, there is a shadow dragon. There's a platoon of absolutely slaughtered raven knights that I was privy to.
Raven Knights. So she's in on
Yes.
this, huh? And the half-orc shifts again, this time fully making himself known as awake. And he straightens himself out with his arms across his chest. And Lethera, for a glimmer of a second, you see the Raven Queen symbol hanging around his neck. Sounds like familiar territory. My friend here might know something about that. But if you say this is true, then I can get word out rather fast. Besheva can get out rather faster. I'm not a magic sort myself. Her domain. She just waggles her fingers as if to brag about it.
Lethera glances briefly at the orc, noticing and nodding her head slightly. My name is Lethera. I'm not certain if you've heard of me. However, what I say is true.
Oh, I know. The half-orc just laughs, as if this is half a joke and half something that he's just trying to make light of, even though he knows it's serious. Oh, don't you worry. Everything's fine. We'll get it taken care of eventually.
You say that.
I have faith in her royalness.
Her royalness is rather busy, if you haven't noticed.
He snorts. Is that very true?
Considering all of the whisperings and what I've read, I wouldn't be surprised if she's a little out of touch. I'd put my, attentions to that as well.
You get a very slight nod from the half-orc and then says nothing else. Meanwhile, the human sighs.
God damn it, Martin.
He sighs and... All right. Dress seems to believe you, so I'm inclined to as well. He's not easy to deceive.
I would hope not.
You just hear this very quiet laughter from Dress, the half-orc. He actually just makes a gesture with two fingers as if to say, you got it, or being on point with something. There's a slight twinkle of understanding in his black eyes, but he doesn't say anything. Meanwhile, there's still the male before you who just, okay, so how quickly do you want this spread and how quietly?
I know it already roams. The question is where it will strike first. The defenses of this city are already questionable. Get word out to Waterdeep as fast as possible. As for quiet, well, quiet enough to keep the populace at least calm. I've seen panic. I'd rather not have that happen again.
Understandable. It's simply the fact that when one doubts their monarchy, panic's going to happen one way or another. Riots.
You'd be surprised how placating some people can be. It doesn't take much to placate an entire society.
He makes a gesture as if to say good point with his hands. And says, well, if you need to request me or my group personally, ask for Brevon. And he gestures to himself.
I'm honored, Brevon.
We'll try and get that out to Waterdeep as fast as possible. There's a bit of a trouble on the route towards the coast, but I'm sure we can handle it.
And compensation. I suppose we're down to bartering terms. She smirks as if this is far too entertaining of a thought to say.
He snorts at the implication. To be fair with you, if this is as big a threat as you say it is and as Dress believes it to be, I don't think bartering people's safety would give me a good conscience.
Then at least allow me to give you something.
He just gives the gesture with one hand of go ahead or do what you will. He seems more or less placated by the stack of gold that's currently in front of him.
Lithera takes out her bag of holding and pulls out a couple of things from them. One, a silver ewer, and 2 ruby-encrusted gold chalices. And the final bit, a scroll of Investiture of Stone, 6th level spell. She looks at everyone at the table and goes, may you all make a safe journey that we might toast using these at some point.
You're an odd one, Sarah. I can't begin to imagine why no one would get along with you. And he smiles as if he knows who you are, Lysera, but doesn't really care.
Lithera just smiles, enjoying the thought of being called odd. May your path be guided. As if it's just entertainment, again, at her thoughts about being called odd, and then wishing them good luck for the most part.
He makes another salute, this time a bit more emphasized rather than lazy in acknowledgement. You take care of yourself as well. Oh, and don't forget to keep that gnome under a bit more lock and key.
I will try my best.
For a moment, you see what you've come to acknowledge as a signature hand motion from someone in a different plane, greeting someone of a similar status, from Dress.
Lithera looks startled for a moment before returning the gesture.
Right before you leave Lithera, out of the corner of your eye, you actually see Yashava, the elven woman with tied back, seemingly half-dyed black and blue hair. And she picks up an odd-looking staff right before you leave. And then the door shuts. Headed back to the inn?
She's going to make one final stop at a shop. Cause things are necessary.
Those things.
Things. And then probably head back. I know better than to not carry some of this stuff.
Where's she going?
Part 1, a potion shop. Part heckin' 1.
It's more of a general store.
She's going shopping.
We're not gonna do this again. So
no,
we're not, just for brevity's sake.
Not for potions, please. Not for potions.
No, not for potions. It's just, I hate you. We're both just snickering at this. Again, with me putting all of my notes in weird places.
Just send me a link or a list of general potions and their prices, and I'll do that off screen.
Okay. So we're just going to say that you bought them because, God forbid, if you ever run out of money, that'd be the end of the world.
Yeah.
If you actually run out of money, that'd be fucking amazing. So we'll talk about how many you buy, because this is getting a bit much. So you buy the potions that you want to buy, and you head back to the inn, where a very, very tired-looking Cole, a not-so-subtle Nimue with a russet nearby, skittering back in just as you're turning the corner to go into the area where the inn is. And Natalie and Ryan are already there, as if they had never left.
So everyone is tired, basically.
Magic user didn't have a good day. Yeah.
Magic users had a no good, very bad day.
When you walk in, Natalie's probably, still very low to the table as she was at the desk before. But now just holding out her hand, but not covering it, sort of looking it over, making sure it's still, there good instead of burning.
That's a mood. Sarah walks back through the door and gives our two not so happy magic users a long look of like, the fuck did I miss?
Just one of those days.
Sorry, my trackpad is like not working. There we go. Got it.
I look up and say, well, at least you returned safe and sound.
That gets a raised eyebrow. So far, I'm one of the only ones that seems to return safe and sound. What has happened to all of you? You all look like you, I don't know, run afoul of a dragon turtle.
Long story. Long story.
Yeah.
Oh, nothing. I just went for a walk with Cole.
We went to the Arcanum, and apparently not even libraries are safe anymore. It's...
Lucera just chuckles. When are libraries ever safe? They're all hiding something.
Books mostly, but not this time.
We
You
never
haven't
know.
been to very many libraries. But go ahead.
Cole, Sarah, Howard, or not Sarah. Howard, how are you doing?
Not having a good day.
Who was that meant for?
I don't know.
I heard Cole and Sarah.
Okay, I mixed up the names, okay?
Everything's bad, TM.
I heard Cole Sarah.
Cole Sarah.
We're just already doing ship names, huh?
Yeah.
Oh no.
Bold of you to imagine Cole can stop hating himself for long enough to actually like someone.
Let alone was there that's a... Anyway, please talk before I talk myself directly into my grave.
No, continue.
What's up?
What?
Y'all, please.
Oh, this is easy.
What is Nini doing?
Nothing.
Buying out a store.
More or less. Because she's rich.
Excuse me, what?
I can't help it if
Well,
she's
you
rich.
know, those who have the money flash it.
Yeah, well, Sarah's just buying out an entire store. It's fine.
Don't worry about it.
Just make sure you keep track of it. Like, you can't run out, but you know what I mean.
Oh, trust me, I'm keeping very good notes on this, and this is going to be really freaking hysterical. I think the shopkeeper is just going to be like, the fuck?
They find out you're like 20,000 platinum in debt.
Oh no. If only.
If that was the case, she wouldn't have given platinum to...
Oh, yeah, this is really doable. Lol. This is going to be sad.
Yeah, 1 platinum is worth 10 gold.
Yep.
Yeah.
Good luck running
I'm
broke.
Gonna buy out the whole fucking store.
Don't
Fine.
mention Fantasy Costco on this fucking thing. No tab references.
Yeah, about me buying out the shop.
It's Fantasy Costco.
No Garfield.
Currently it is.
Anyways.
I'm sad.
Hey, Bri.
Mm,
I still have platinum left.
I'm sure you do.
And I'm paying in platinum.
That is the courteous thing to do, yes. Just pay in copper. No.
No, you don't understand. I could have been a dick and paid in multiple different ways. It's fine.
Pay an electrum.
I could have,
Zany
actually.
electrum.
Yeah, literally, Lazara could have.
Wait. How much gold is platinum?
Oh,
Platinum is 1 gold per...
Nope.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. 10 gold per 1 platinum.
Yeah.
Oh.
It all goes up in factors of 10, except for electrum, which is 1/5 of a gold.
That's dumb.
That was a lot of money, I just realized.
Yeah, all of you technically have a lot of money if you don't spend it.
Electrum is outdated and dumb, yes. That is the point of it.
This is one of those
Anyways,
things.
what's going on?
Yeah, all right. Anyway, moving on. You guys are in the inn currently. Leave me and Nene to discuss semantics in the background.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right in.
Cole, are you alright? I don't stormed off, but
I'm fine. I just had to get some advice from someone.
Okay.
That leaves me with how much platinum left? Oh, that much. All right, that's fine.
I was imagining Lethera's at the table writing out a tab,
She's probably like... She probably took out a piece of paper with like a lot of different numbers on them, and she's scratching one out and writing a different number into it.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't know how to price this thing. Just ignore me. I'm gonna go quiet. You guys have a role-playing moment.
Okay.
Will Cole be able to tell that Lethera is actually keeping a ledger? There's a question for you.
A what?
A ledger. So like a money ledger.
You can certainly roll perception.
You're right, I can. That's like a
Oh.
Out of hand?
That's like a 23.
For all intents and purposes, you can definitely tell that she's writing on a ledger for a lot of money. And you watch her scratch out the previous number that you can only assume would be platinum and make it smaller.
Lethera, if you don't mind me asking, what are you doing?
Keeping track of a couple of things.
That looks like a lot of money that you're using.
From, to give you an idea, the number that she was working with went from a triple digit to a double digit.
It's still a lot of money.
That's a ton of money.
It is a ton of money.
Lithera just gives him a long look after, like, pausing in her writing it to look up at him and goes, supplies.
For what?
She gives him an even longer look like, do you not know?
At this point, I'm also looking inquisitively at Lithera.
Natalie's looking up at the two of them, chin on arms, just still processing things, waiting for one of them to say something to continue that whole exchange.
Lithera sighs after a moment before finally taking out 8 bottles of what is that? Of a standard healing potion and divvying 2 of them up to each member of the party.
Oh. I can usually heal wounds myself, at least to the degree that this can.
Lithera looks over
Why, thank you.
You're welcome. Lithera looks over at Natalie and just looks her over. You look exhausted. How much magic have you been using lately?
Not much today. Natalie gives an obviously evasive answer of, not that much today.
Lithera looks back at her leisure.
By the way, I should have asked this earlier, but... Oh, wait. Is Bryce still here? Or...
As far as I know.
I was going to ask, does Natalie know any signs of the burning from today?
I'm sorry, what? I'm still trying to fucking figure out how pricing works for the things that someone's trying to get.
You're welcome.
Does Lithera's hand, not Lithera, does Natalie's hand show any signs of the, curse burning?
No. Every trace of the papers having been there, they just kind of disappeared as soon as the thief showed up and took the papers.
Well, the papers, Natalie's hand, does it show any signs of the fire that happened?
No.
You kind of cut out for that answer there, what?
No.
Okay. Making sure.
You stole the paper and your burns.
Next he might steal your soul. You never know.
If we lost our souls, we would have done it in the dream already. Not now.
You never know. He might steal your heart then. I'm certain he'll try.
Not in the mood.
Okay.
Good luck trying to steal Cole's heart.
Oh, you never said what his heart represented, though.
Who knows? Could be love, could be your life. Either one works.
He steals Cole's heart. That's too much baggage.
If you steal Cole's soul, that means you get years worth of emotional trauma.
Give me your soul. Ew, not you.
This is that one meme of your soul.
Your soul
take his
belongs
soul,
to me.
a
Now take
bagel.
it back if you want.
What do you want to eat? the souls of the innocent. A bagel. No! 2 bagels.
That one.
That's charisma -2.
What?
But yeah, taking the hint, Natalie bagged the potion. Uh, Thank you, Sarah.
I've seen far too many magic users go down because they didn't have one of these. Keep it for when you need it.
Fair point. And when you mention this, Natalie sort of looks to Ryan, doesn't say anything, but just seems to coincide with that.
Yeah.
I look around at everyone and go, well, which of these should we do first? And I bring out the papers, the bounties I had taken earlier.
Hmm. Let's have a reminder of what those were again.
Okay, I think I'm done. Done.
One was invisible stalker near Waterdeep, and something near Prominent, and a Weyburn sighted 5 northwestern area of Deathstone Valley, 117 gold piece.
Valley.
Alchemist Ashley, west side. Water Devil, disturbing trade routes, pays same as Weyburn.
I'm going to clear that up a little bit because the background noise made it a little bit hard to focus.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So to clarify, there is one bounty for indications of an invisible stalker near or within Waterdeep. There's a Wyvern. I can't tell. I'm tired.
Oh.
Wyvern sightings, 5 of them in total from what the bounty is saying in the northwestern area of Deseret Valley, paying a pretty nice sum for proof that they're no longer being a problem, about 500 gold pieces. But for bringing back pieces aside from proof to Ashley in the promenade, you could get extra money or services. And the third one is...
And don't forget the Water Devil.
And the third one is what is described as a water devil or a water elemental, disturbing trade routes along the coast, paying the same as the wyvern. The invisible stalker pays a $850, I believe it was. Probably not. Again, doing 4 things at once. Not fun. So Sarah, you actually noticed that this is one of, apparently, the alchemist named Ashley, who was talking about having postings up at the guild for needing wyvern parts. Jesus Christ. Anyway. Don't mind me.
Beware, Lithera is buying out shit. An entire store, it's fine. Lithera raises an eyebrow at that and stares at it for a moment. Wyvern pops. Another wyvern.
You've hunted them before?
I've had my fair share of seeing a number of odd things. The one that comes to mind had a rider.
A wyvern rider?
Yes. It was an annoying sort.
Well, I guess if you're riding a wyvern, you can do whatever you want to be.
Well, certainly not anymore.
What happened to the writer?
I would think it would be easy enough to tell he's dead. I think we made a crown out of some of the teeth of his wyvern.
Thanks.
Natalie kind of scoots a little bit away from Lithera.
Well, not everyone who dies stays dead.
Lithera just kind of leans onto the table as if she's trying to remember exactly what she did with those things. Lost in thought.
I look at her and go, wait, you already took out 5 wyverns?
It wasn't that hard.
I raise an eye.
Humble brag. Well, then it should be a piece of cake for you.
Would be a piece of cake for most of us now, quite honestly.
Well, actually, that's free money right there. I guess since you already took care of it, I'll give you this one to hand in. And doing so, I slide over the wyvern bounty.
I don't think they mean the wyverns from back then. Seems like a more recent problem.
Lithera looks at the bounty, looks at Minue, and then looks at Natalie and goes, "You'd very likely be correct. I think my time is off by about 100 years."
Yes, so this would be 5 more anyway, not just 5 in general.
Okay, well, we do have a ranger here who's very good with that bow. We've got Cole here who is the best shot in the dark I've ever seen. Then we look at the strengths we have, Which of these do you think we would have a modicum of being able to handle? And what strategy do we with?
If there is only one water devil to handle, I think maybe that could be easier.
Lithera looks it over and makes quite the face. Not more elementals. That one will be more tricky than you think.
Yeah, generally water-themed things are annoying.
Ooh, what about this invisible stalker? Is there anything we can do about this invisible stalker, then?
That I'm not too sure on.
I don't know, go over there, throw some powder. If it's on them.
We would need to find it first, which is the real concern.
Throw powder.
And the next question we should think about is the danger rating of each of.
The invisible I'm not too keen on messing with.
There. I'm for the wyvern, personally.
It's still an annoying fight, but it will not be quite as hard.
Hopefully they're not all in the same place. Well, I mean,
All right, I think.
all at once.
Cole, do you have, as our gunslinger, do you have any input into?
Cole's spacing the fuck out.
I zoned out and then Cole zones out.
It's that one vine of like the very serene music playing while a dude's holding a red solo cup, and then suddenly there's club music playing, and you're just like, yeah, what's up? He has no idea what you're talking about. He's completely fucking zoned out.
Again, the Minue looks over at Cole and goes, Cole, as the gunslinger, do you have any input onto which of these we should do?
Cole kind of jolts back into reality for a second.
Snap back to reality.
Oh, there goes
and he
good.
looks around for a second and he just shrugs.
Oh, so helpful.
I suppose all of you wouldn't do so well with one made of water, so the wyverns it is then?
Okay, wyverns. Now, what kind of strategy do we wish to take when dealing with these before?
I doubt there will be a rider. So does anyone feel like playing bait?
Shoot first, ask questions later.
I look around and I shrug and I go, well, seeing as how I'm the smallest, it would make sense if I'm the...
This is dangerous. I don't know if using the tiny force.
Yes.
The bait.
Cole absolutely laughs in character about the shoot first.
The Thera will give a snort, just highly entertained.
It's okay, Minue, not... I don't think wyverns are very friendly.
Well, how hard can they possibly be? Maybe I can give them a good, fist to the nose, give them an old wet for to the snout, and they'll be all tamed.
Yeah, Natalie's thinking in the back of her head, Minue's going to try to make these things her friends, and it's not going to work.
Lithera shrugs. Wyverns aren't that bad, but you have to find their eggs.
They've got eggs?
Well,
I
do.
Do you think maybe, since there's 5 of them harassing them, there may be a layer of eggs nearby?
Chances say yes.
Ooh, then, anyone want some wyvern eggs? I'm sure I could sit and hatch on one.
Keeping them warm would be trouble, especially when transported.
Still, I'm sure I could at least have one of them.
What?
The Indian dragon.
I'm saying nothing.
There's a
What are you guys
Minecraft
doing?
tip for you there.
If at least one of
We
these
are
liquids-
going to take on the Wyvern.
Yeah,
Okay.
because we don't think arrows, bullets, or axes will work well against water.
And we have no way to find the invisible.
You can certainly try.
Even locate creature doesn't work. Because I need to be able to. I need to have it, which invisible.
You're still in the kingdom. That's in the Desserin Valley. A ways away. That's a trek.
Yeah. But hey, conjure animals for horses so we can travel. You know,
So
that's an option.
flesh out actively between party members what you're planning to do, because we're getting up to 4 hours.
Yeah.
That's fair, yeah. That's fair.
And I'm starting to fall asleep, sadly.
I can tell.
Mhm.
So can I.
I'm trying.
So I think you're right there.
Try to keep your feet right on the.
Do I need to get the air horn?
Please don't. I'll only respond to it from Nini.
Maybe.
I could get the bell out again.
Oh, you're just going to irritate me at that point. Anyway, just go ahead and flesh out in character what you're doing. We can get to a stopping point that isn't me complaining that I'm tired.
I mean, we are just prepping to go take care of the wife.
As if you
Yeah,
can't do
basically all we're
basic
doing in
strategy,
character right now is...
Up to you.
That's what we're doing in character right now is fleshing out a big...
Okay.
When we find one, I'll be able to locate the rest, at least.
Lithera is looking at the wanted poster for the wyverns and staring at a couple of words on it, just kind of twirling the pen she was using to keep her ledger.
Now, let's work to everyone's strength. So, what all can our strengths bring to the table for defeating you?
I can shoot them.
Cole, you're also pretty stealthy, too.
I'm decent at that.
And I would think Lithera is also pretty stealthy.
I can make sure no one dies.
As I did in the forest, I can help you be more stealthy if you'd like. If we're taking that approach.
We should probably put, like, a team of 1 or 2 onto finding the eggs, and then have a few put into place on to hide themselves among the tippy top areas to shoot down at these creatures. But still, have a lot of cover.
I'd assume at least one is with the eggs, and the others are roaming. Correct?
That would most likely be true.
In that case, if we find one, I can locate the rest, and we can track down the eggs.
But if we find... you're right. You're right. How would we go about... Would we like to try and trap them?
Oh, locate creature. As soon as we find one, I'll be able to...
Yes, but should we try to place a trap to get one, to fall into the trap, so that way you have your one to use locate creature on.
Traveling a wyvern might be kind of hard.
I can shoot it out of the air.
While a conventional trap would be difficult, we could... If we set up something noticeable in their habitat, maybe one will come to investigate, and from there we can ambush.
That should work, I think.
I believe a brightly colored tiny hut might work for that one.
And as it gets closer, Cole can always, as he says, shoot it out of the air before it can get close enough to harm us.
All of this is well and good. We do not know the area where we will find them as of yet. Making such plans is all for naught.
Then
What
the
I
first
do
thing to
suggest-
do would be to find a guide, would it not?
What I do suggest that we figure out is how we get there. We're not close to Deathrin Valley, are we?
I look
Sorry
around.
about that.
I
cut out. All of you at this point know that you're not close to the Deathrin Valley, at least not where this particular bounty is saying that it is. But you'd get there with horseback. You'd most certainly get there in about 4 days travel to the Deathrin Valley's border.
It's not too bad.
But to the area that it says it'd be an extra 3 days, so about a week. No, that's without any problems.
Could be
Would
more.
we ever run into problems?
It's D&D.
Yep.
Never say that out loud.
Lithera sighs and shakes her head. I suggest we decide whether we wish to just take horses or get a cart to bring supplies.
We should bring a cart because we're going to have to bring back.
That's true, yeah.
That's a good point.
Then do we rent one or do we buy it outright?
Are we going to want one, or do we want to get two? One to carry supplies, and the second to bring back.
Will we need that many supplies to go out for the hunt in the first place?
Well, you're going to need a week's worth of food. You're going to need a week's worth of water. Or you're going to need a week's worth of food for the horses.
Food, I can take care of that for you as she casts Goodberry, holding out a Goodberry.
Yes, but I'm sure one Goodberry is not going to be enough to fill up a horse, or even more horses.
I'm gonna fucking die.
As the berries multiply to 10 in her hand.
I'm gonna fucking
You do
die.
know it takes 1 bale of hay to keep a horse fed per day.
Just so you're aware.
Berries work. Animals. Well, it says
a creature. It counts as a creature.
Yeah, so it has enough nourishment for 1 day regardless.
Yeah, one berry has nourishment for 1 day.
Yeah.
For any good berry.
One berry. It only takes 1 berry to feed anything, from horses to...
Well, I guess that would work then. May I take your order?
It's perfect, though.
Absolutely.
Lithera seems to recognize what those are and immediately just picks one up and pops it in her mouth like, oh, it's been a while since I've had one of these.
I guess I tentatively take one and pop.
Lithera, used to this.
Munch.
Well, then still, we are also going to need to is the area we're going to be super hot at this time? Is it going to be super cold? Are we going to need to bring winter supplies?
Which part of the Deslarin Valley is this?
Northwestern.
Northwestern. Lithera rummages around in her pack and pulls out a map of the Deslarin Valley.
Something that Nini actually has.
Yep, I do actually have this map.
Oh shit.
And then, absently with her pen, having turned it over, just points to an area. It will be right about here. Oh, yes, I've been there before. Wyventor. In the Sword Mountains. If they want to get rid of all of the wyverns, that's going to be a trouble. There's always wyverns there. Lithera kind of squints at the map for a moment and then puts it back down, looking a little bit, I'd say queasy. And like she just realized something rather unpleasant.
So, how will the region be?
What part of the season is it?
It's a late summer, early fall. Starting to get cold.
I'd be prepared for colder temperatures, but not unlivable as of yet.
Then that means we're going to need to bring extra blankets to keep the horses warm. We're going to need to bring extra blankets and light jackets or mildly warm jackets for all of us.
Luckily for encampments, I've got us covered. Tiny hut is pretty comfortable.
We are going to need. We are going to
but
need
what about
to
all
bring.
of the traveling? We'll still need it.
Right.
We are going to need to bring ointments for those of us who get saddle sores and for sores that the horses might get. We are going to need to bring horse picks for the hooves in case they get rocks in their feet, etc., etc.
You're thinking about this so much more than I was intending on getting on you about.
Actually,
Yeah.
the more you say, the more we pay.
Mm-hmm.
Cole just
I am currently posting a picture of all of the of the map.
Well, what do you expect when back in that time of day it takes a lot to go traveling for a week?
It's usually just an understood thing of the more you say about the things you need, the more your DM pays you for it. Like, you're gonna... It's not friendly.
The more you say, the more you pay for it in the future. Because you've given your DM ideas.
The more resources you have, the more likely you are to get exhaustion.
Cole's just like, the only extra supplies I'll need to get is ammunition.
At this discussion of logistics, Rayanne has gotten completely distracted, run back to try to... She suddenly remembered that she doesn't know if her costume was in the dream yet or not, and if it is still intact, and has run back to try to find it.
The thudding of dragonborn feet up the stairs.
Zoomies.
Her player
Ryan
also
has the
needs
zoomies.
to- so might leave. Is that okay?
Yeah,
I mean,
fine.
I would
That's
be
fine.
assuming that after this, it would just be, it wouldn't be like it stopped for the day and you guys rest again. It would be we pick up exactly where that was, so you come back in the next session and just knowing
Sounds
about
good.
your costume.
Alright, sounds good.
The most epic cliffhanger. Is the costume okay?
I'm gonna kill all of you.
Farewell.
Have a nice rest.
You can't kill me, I'm already dying.
That's a good point. I should probably send the Minuet up soon to check on hers.
If Natalie made her costume the day of the festival usually, wouldn't that... Where would it be now, exactly? Would it be the costume, or would it be the fur coat used to make the costume? Because in this timeline of events...
It'd be the materials meant for the costume.
Okay.
It wouldn't be the costume.
No, whistleware, already gotten. Woo.
It wouldn't be the costume because the costume was a part of that. So,
Yeah.
you have all the materials. But just the sudden recognition of, oh God, from the cleric, and just takes off. All of you see this happen, and so does everybody else currently seated in the tavern area at the inn. And then most people go back to what they're doing. Like, this has now become normal. Weird shit
I have
happens.
to see if there's a place in it.
Thera just stares after Ryan and then looks at everybody at the table. Seriously, what has gotten into all of you today?
Well, there's kind of this bad dream I sort of had last night.
We all had that dream. Yeah.
Well, Sarah, you had a weird dream as well, but it was mostly just getting drunk. Getting drunk with somebody.
Lithera is just gonna squint at everybody for a moment, like, okay. And then...
It's hard to explain, Lithera.
Actually,
All I know is there was this weird character named Garrett in it.
Garrick? That's a rather funny name.
Yeah, he kind of stole... I guess from what I learned from some of the others, he kind of stole from him.
Natalie is not looking comfortable with the way this is going.
Lithera looks confused. So you met a thief in your dreams.
And he led us to this real...
Alright.
Cole just side eyes like, hey Natalie, you want to get out of here before we have vicious flashbacks again?
Natalie.
Like, he's not saying it, but he's just like giving the side eyes like, do you want to leave?
And I remember I was super fearful about a giant...
Sounds like an interesting nightmare? I don't know.
Oh, it ended with me dying.
Natalie, hearing this reference to Garrick and seeing Sarah's response of essentially just, I don't know who the fuck that is, but that's a really funny name, is telling of maybe you had some false information. And because it was Zone of Truth, you get the sensation that she thought it was truth.
But
fair. It's not. Because truth can be a lot of things. What someone perceives as truth, what actually is truth, and whatnot.
Yeah, telling the truth. Not the right thing, but the truth.
Yeah, Cole's just like, I'm not dealing with this. And you want to deal with this?
Cole just died.
Natalie just gives a little back of, it would look bad to wait. It would look bad to get up now. I'm just gonna sit here and die.
Natalie chooses to sit here and die.
Cole just sighs like, well, I guess I better go see if there's actually a place that sells bullets here. It's hard to find those places sometimes. If I can't find one, I'll have to make some of my own. And that's just annoying.
Hard work is
Natalie will-
annoying.
Hard work is annoying.
Oh, yeah, and speaking of, I'm going to want to bring some extra clay pots to keep the wyvern eggs and to keep fill them with
Jesus.
them and keep them warm.
I'm sorry, continue. Don't listen to me.
Mathera still is looking to everybody like, okay, y'all are crazy for having this weird-ass dream.
As far as Mathera's concerned, she had a weird dream, but it was mostly her getting drunk with Sheila. Everything's fine.
It's a pretty standard dream. That's a forgettable standard dream. Let's go get drunk.
Yeah. If anything, there would be like the weird moments of the rest of the party just interacting with someone strange. And just fucking off eventually. It's just like, that's fine, whatever, just fuck it. Forgettable, as it were.
Natalie will ask. Oh, Lethera, you said you had a dream last night. Did it involve Sheila?
Yes. We were getting drunk.
Huh.
Alright, that was it. Okay.
Oh, well, a dream's a dream, am I right?
Right.
Yep.
Just a dream.
Everybody fucking dies instantly.
A dream's a dream, right? While trying not
I
to
dreamed a dream.
Just a dream. Yep.
That's just a dream.
You can't. That's not. No.
As everyone dies a little inside.
Anyway. We're just gonna end
And
on
as such, I think we can bring this to it.
We're just gonna end it on. It's just a dream, right?
It's just a dream.